this. Oh man, I started a Tengu. No, it was not a Tengu. Huh. I guess let's transfer. I already read the patch notes and it's not really that relevant. I'm gonna be playing this Barachi Reaver because I started it before Armatars were a thing. I think that it was completely unnecessary for Palentonga to get removed. I guess if you just want to bring the Palentonga rolling mechanic to everyone, it's reasonable that Palentonga itself gets removed. But the only reason why Palentonga was never good was because their aptitudes were never good, and they just had a plethora of weaknesses, and it's one unique thing, which was the rolling, was never appealing enough. So yeah, or more like it didn't compensate for being forced to kinda be a melee character. What is this, a new class? Do you mean Reaver? Yes, Reaver is a new class. Oh, Armator. Armator is a new species. It's not a new class. It's a rework of Palentonga. It gets better aptitudes now. It gets a little bit of a different gimmick. So, and also the Palentonga roll was turned into a spell, so you can now cast it every time. Um, the commit says Armadillo plus Centaur combination. Uh-huh. Armator. Okay. I've heard that the Armators get extra potion healing, but read scrolls so slowly, which is pretty interesting. A pretty interesting mechanic. Main feature here is that Armators get double potion effects, double healing, double status effect duration, double degen, double mutation, double potion of experience. That's pretty crazy. Then flip it around a little and make scroll reading 50% slower. This is not a large penalty, so just sort of a cute twist. There are reverse mummies. This will probably get cut eventually. Yeah, if you want to, let me put this. They still play this game. How long have they been working on this for free? Well, the thing about Crawl development is that it is a Stone Soup based. Thus the name Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Everyone apports a little bit of something, and that's how the development comes to fruition. It is not a centralized team of developers. It is a game that supports itself due to the contributions of the community that make cool things. And the thing that the developers do is not really make things for the game, but see the things that are submitted and then make a decision between whether or not it is a good idea for such things to exist in the game. And then they get pushed into the game and tried and stuff. Sometimes developers do make stuff themselves, specifically PF. PF has made a lot of things over the last couple of years for Crawl, so yeah, definitely a lot of contributions from PF. It's pretty crazy. Mm. Yeah, there's a ton of people that play in the Crawl community. Um, it's not as many people as you would think, but just to give you an estimate, the last tournament had 1,489 players. So 1,489. You could assume that there's more people that play that only play offline because the tournament only counts people that play online in the stable version. If you play online in Trunk during the tournament, it's not gonna count. If you play offline, it's not gonna count. So there's probably more than about 1,500 people active at any given time during like in 2 week lapses, I suppose. There's also the possibility of people just jumping in to play Crawl during the tournament. But yeah, Baraki Reaper, let's begin. So right from the get-go, we find 3 monsters. Fortunately, didn't have to use Kiss of Death. I found a short sword of draining, pretty good weapon, better than this falchion. So I'm gonna equip it. And yeah, I think that the damage increase is gonna be significant. As a Barachi, I'm pretty slow. I'm much slower than the other species and the average monster. So I can just walk away to make them get closer to me. Or rather, like, that's a bad thing about Barachi, right? Like, you cannot run away. You need to jump away, but then that has a cooldown that you cannot, like, wait out. You need to stay still to regenerate it. It's a pretty interesting thing, Baraki. Hello, Kosisu. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you around. As you can see, we're playing Crawl. We're playing Baraki Reaver. I was going to play Armatar, but over the weekend I started this character. um, yeah, I started this character before Armator release, so I don't want to quit it. I'm just gonna play it, and then if I die, I will play an Armator. I wanted to try Baraki because I feel like Baraki's aptitudes are good enough to be able to play a Reaver without having a bad experience or so. Gonna get intelligence. What do we have here? We have swiftness. That's interesting. I wonder if Baraki with swiftness can outrun things, or if it still gets hit by attacks of opportunity. Real winners quit. Alright. That's what swiftness flavored text says. Just walk out. You can leave. I find that pretty funny because it's really good advice for dungeon crawl stone soup. Just walk out. In most situations, especially when it comes to new players, they can get sometimes overwhelmed by certain things that happen in the game. So the advice of just walk out, leave is pretty good advice to give them. By the way, these things have a 1.0 delay now. Yeah, they're slightly better than daggers now for the purposes of not stabbing. For the purposes of stabbing, however, daggers are still the undisputed champions. Hmm. This is gonna be annoying. Natasha on D2 is pretty rough. It's not what I want to see. I think that I'm just gonna try to kill her with... Okay, not like that. Yeah, that's pretty rough. So what happens if I try to use Kiss of Death here? Okay, miscast it. I take 4 damage. Natasha is heavily wounded. You feel drained. Can I cast it again? You miscast Kiss of Death. Okay, I'm getting killed by Natasha. That's pretty awful, but there's not much to do about it. That's just how RNG works. If you don't train for the spells from at the very beginning, it's not really something that you can do. And I didn't really want to melee Natasha because Natasha is just gonna have all the evasion in the world. Well, I guess I'm gonna nuke my HP. Yep, by casting more Kiss of Death. It's very painful, as you can see. My HP is now 24. Running around with Spriggan, well, not even Spriggan HP. It's slightly more than Spriggan HP, but anyway. It feels kind of rough to have 24 HP on experience level 4 when I feel like I should have more. You know what? That's fine. I can pick this up and fight the other. At some point soon, I should definitely. In fact, I should probably do it right now. Just train for translocations and conjurations to get that thing castable. 8 spell casting, and let's see how it goes. Okay, that fight with the other was pretty dangerous, and the others are pretty bad when you don't have that much HP, and due to the fact that I used a bit too much Kiss of Death, well, that kind of nuked my HP. The Crimson Nip is bad, but it's only a summon from Natasha, so it's not the end of the world. Regardless, yeah, Natasha. D2 Natasha. Perhaps it's a signal that I should skip the level. Well, it's impossible now. Natasha is gonna catch up to me. Hopefully she won't magic dart me. I need to fight her because I cannot outrun her. Heal wounds. Alright, that's a good thing to know about. Okay. I also kill Natasha. I'm training for Momentum Strike. I'll stop when I have it castable. I think we should be okay to kill Natasha. Okay, we go for Momentum Strike, and it hits Natasha. Doesn't really kill, but it does deal a lot of damage. You feel Natasha's spirit has been finally put to rest. That's pretty nice. Not bad at all. A Ring of Slaying on D2. That's a great addition to my character and to almost every character. Let me check these, actually. Let me check these Faded Altar, because now Faded Altars give you an option of 3 gods. We have some, we have Okawaru, and we have Maklev, all 3 of which are pretty respectable. Let's go for it. Maklev accepts your prayer. Alright, you can now gain health from killing. This is D2, by the way, so having already the Maklev heals on D2 is kind of a big deal. D3 Orc Priest. Oh, hold on. That was perhaps a little bit of a mistake. Fortunately, I don't get punished for it, and I can just go upstairs now. Yeah, I don't want to fight an Orc Priest if I miss the Momentum Strike and it has support. And they pretty much always have support. By the way, I was very lucky to get that +2 +2 globes, +2 short sword, plus 4. Well, Ring of Slaying, I guess. They're always +4. What happens if I put this on? It does kind of mess with my success rates that a little bit. Probably nothing that I won't be able to fix if I train to 5. Barachi aptitudes are great. It's just like that. I've always said it. With +1s in both, what are these things called? Conjurations and translocations, I should be able to cast Momentum Strike rather consistently without that much of an investment. Wow, this guy has a polearm and I cannot move. That's extremely nasty. But we managed to eventually be able to move and we survive. Okay, that's a pretty bad sight to see, the orc priest. Gonna leave it alone for a little bit. I don't have to mess with that guy. Especially, like, the issue is that I either have to jump towards it or run at it through the water, and I am slow, so I'm likely to get smitten a couple of times, which is a pretty bad thing. Right now, however, I think I can deal with this Ice Beast. Worst case scenario, I have 1 heal wounds. I had to drink Identify a couple of potions. One more hit and I have to drink the heal wounds. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be any need because I beat the Ice Beast. Let's read this. This might be Identify. It is. We get Mutation. We get 3. Very important thing to have, and Curing to end it all. Not bad. Orc Priest goes for the Smite. It really has like a very advantageous position on me, this Priest, because it was just all the way over there, so it managed to deal quite a lot of damage. As a Barachi, I can swim through deep water. It's a pretty convenient thing to have access to. But yeah, once again, we find ourselves in the priest situation. There seems to be a bit too many priests on this D3. Is that the second or the third one? I think I may have seen one of the ones that I've seen already, like twice. Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty messed up. I don't want to do that. I definitely don't want to do that. I'm gonna try to make a run for this hatch. Because I'm not gonna fight 2 priests at the same time. That will kill you. I can't fight 1 worm at the same time, especially with slaying. It's gonna get killed. Hopefully kill the priest in a 1 versus 1. Yes, there we go. Now that greatly weakens the power of this unit of monsters. So I can just get rid of it like that. Very easy. Alrighty, divide and conquer, they say, and it definitely holds true for Crawl. The support of other monsters makes you know, there's unity in strength for the monsters. I guess for the player too, but player allies are significantly more scarce than monster allies. They do apport a lot. There's definitely been a couple of situations where I have gotten absolutely carried by some allies that I have had. For example, box of beast allies or perhaps even Maklev allies. Like as long as you're sturdy enough to tank yourself, you can absolutely take advantage of having a couple of allies so that they deal the damage for you. Momentum strike is at 10%. That's nice. After that, I think I'll be training a little bit of spellcasting with the hopes, always the hopes of finding. Oh wow! I think it no longer like it. I think it missed and it didn't. That's great. That was necessary. Mm, as I was saying, with the added hope of eventually finding Stone Arrow, and I also just noticed that if it misses, if Momentum Strike misses now, it doesn't prevent you from moving, which is how it should have always been. I'm glad that it was made like this, because now it doesn't feel so bad to miss with it. Before, it was borderline unusable because of that. Like, you got the penalty, but not the reward for daring to cast the spell and having it miss because you got unlucky. Yeah, that was not very sweet. Considering that I have this Ring of Slaying, I think the Short Sword of Speed is gonna be a significantly more damaging item than what I'm using right now. I don't think I want to fight Sigmund, however. Mm, can I skip the level because Sigmund is a pretty dangerous foe? A black bear. Better be careful with those. I'm gonna go to these stairs. I'm gonna go upstairs with this guy. Okay. Yeah, look at the attack speed, 0.5. It's quite fast, and ooh, wow, look at this. Resistance to electricity from the very beginning of the game. That's a nice thing to have. Like, it will most likely get replaced as soon as I have another ring, but it is really not an issue. Because I know that eventually I'll need to have resistance to electricity, and that's just a guarantee now that I have this item. This chainmail is pretty good. It's a really, really good chainmail. Unfortunately, it's also chainmail, so it's very heavy. I cannot really equip it just yet, or ever. I don't know if I will be able to equip that. Perhaps on my level 9, I should get strength so I can use this chainmail. I would still need a little bit more than 15. I feel comfortable wearing chainmail with 17 strength or so. There's no hard magic numbers for that kind of thing, and I'm not a fan of that. I would prefer the reduction of uncertainty and like randomness. Oh, this was a mistake. This was a serious mistake. Yes, I might die because of this. You cannot move. I know. Minor destruction, that's not gonna work with zero invocations. This is a serious issue because of what I just did. Yeah, minus move is not a good thing to have right now. I guess I'm just gonna have to wait it out. Because Sigmund is never gonna walk towards me because he has a polearm. Kind of miraculous that I managed to survive for so long standing next to Sigmund, with Sigmund like casting stuff and attacking me and even landing the attacks. Because that did happen and I didn't really take that much damage. Truly amazing. Oh, this could be an issue. These guys are a bit too damaging. All three of them at the same time, that is. Ooh, this is not good. Here we find the limitations of being a frog. Since I'm a frog, I cannot really run away from anything. By extension, yeah, situations like these are pretty rough. 1 HP. Okay. Whew. It's a pretty unfortunate thing that we just happen to find three monsters at the same time. The early game is unfair like that. There's not much to do about it. That was the perfect occasion to throw the character and start an Arma Tower, but I didn't really want to throw the character. I think that Barachi Reaver is a pretty good combination of things to go because Barachi is just good. Difficult and punishing, but good. And Reaver wants you to have good aptitudes. Mm, I don't know if Mommy Reaver would ever work because of the aptitudes thing. You just get pulled in too many different directions when it comes to warrior mages. Um, you need to train for your melee and you need to train for your spells. It's just a bit too many things. I will stop training spellcasting now. I don't need that much spellcasting being a Reaver. Mm, I kind of want to train a little bit of short blades because of the fact that I have this short sword of speed, right? That plus Ring of Slaying will very comfortably take me to Lair at the very least. So yeah, okay. I think starting the fight or finishing the fight with Momentum Strike is definitely the way to go. I recently made a video that hasn't been put on YouTube just yet. It will go to YouTube next week. Um, Regarding Reaver. It's related to Reaver. It's not entirely about Reaver. It's just like somewhat related to them. And I talk about some of the spells that Reaver has and how I have been applying them. And I think that starting the fight with Momentum Strike, then tabbing, and then finishing the fight with Momentum Strike after it comes out of cooldown is definitely the way to go. That's what's had the most value for me at the very least. Mm, Being able to use it multiple times per fight pretty much guarantees a win. Obviously at the point in the game where you want to actually be using such a spell, because the more the game progresses, the more useless this spell gets. Like, it's definitely not like Stun Arrows. Stun Arrows design is so simple yet so effective for very long parts of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a rework to Stun Arrow sometime in the near future because of that, because devs are not on board with the idea of early game spells being useful beyond the early game, it seems. And Stun Arrow is precisely that. So finding this scroll shop is actually a pretty good thing. Lets me buy a couple of scrolls of Identify. 3 of them, one of which identifies blinking, so that's automatically incredibly worth it. There's another scroll right there. I'm interested. I'm also like really curious about trying Armator, but I'm glad that I decided to give this a try, this Barachi Reaver thing, because it's been going really well. I don't know if I should attribute that to the gear that I found, or if it's just because I have really really good aptitudes or so, just like because I am a Baraki. But I think it is the loot more than anything. Specifically, the Ring of Slaying and the short sword of speed, like that kind of thing, will absolutely devastate the entirety of the early game. Mm. Tempted to see how my spellcasting goes whenever I put this on. And yeah, it kind of nukes my spells. But at least for now, I may want to roll with this. Um, just because it's such a good thing. It has regen too. The -8 mana doesn't matter if I cannot cast the spells anyway, except that now I kinda can because I got Searing Ray. It's a much better spell to cast than Momentum Strike because you can actually rely on Searing Ray. Momentum Blast, or what is it called? Momentum Strike? Momentum Strike, sorry. New spell. I'm mixing up the names. The 6-2-headed ogre, and I am a Baraki, so I am kinda boned. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I may have teleport right here. Okay, that's not helpful. This is probably teleport. I cannot believe that I read a scroll that I have 3 of, and it was it was Torment on D6. Scrolls of Torment are extremely rare. Not really as rare as Potions of Experience, but they're pretty reasonably rare. So much, in fact, that yeah, it's a pretty strange thing to have gotten that at this point in the game. Gonna get strength, as I mentioned. That automatically makes my spells significantly more castable. It's a good thing that I decided to put this on because it's actually really, really good armor for the early game. Um, Other than the -9 mana, which is not really that much of a downside, considering that I cannot really cast the spells when I'm wearing it, it's only upside. Like the downsides are the inherent downsides of wearing armor. It's just it's gonna be difficult to cast the spells. But like, do I really need to cast the spells with a Ring of Slaying and other things? I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I don't need to cast. Um, I need to cast the spells. Oh no, this might be an issue. This would be a time where I would like to cast the spells. Perhaps a Scroll of Poison, because I do have Scroll of Poison. If you want to get to me, you're gonna have to walk through the poison, Mr. Two-Headed Ogre. If you shoot at the enemy or something, they tend to be a bit less reluctant to step on poison and this kind of thing. By the way, take a look at those misses and hits that deal no damage. Kinda insane. Regardless, the Scroll of Poison got the job done. A little bit of a thing that I've picked up whenever I've used Scroll of Poison, then attacked monsters. They definitely start to walk towards you if you do exactly what I did there. Mm, Okay, so we got 10 short blades. I'm gonna get 12 fighting. At this point, I think we can probably abandon the training of spellcasting, at least for a little bit. I haven't fully explored this level, right? I guess. No, I shouldn't fully explore this level because I have the time ticking on the thingy on the other side of the stairs. I'm gonna read a teleport and go downstairs. Okay, we found the temple. Not that it matters, of course, since we got very early Maclef. The very early Maclef, yeah, it's just a blessing. I am at 3 pips of piety, so now pretty much every time I kill something, I'm gonna go back to not necessarily full HP, but I'll go up quite a bit regarding HP. And not only that, but I also have regen from this chainmail. So yeah, the things all complement each other and make for a pretty strong character. Kind of scary, the current situation, however. I don't want to deal with so many of those guys at the same time. But as I mentioned, I'm back at full HP. This is fine. You know what's pretty cool about this position that I am in right now? I can disengage by walking away. Like, it's 100% guaranteed way to save myself. I don't really have penalties from being sitting here in the water because I am a Barachi. That's a pretty good thing to be a Barachi. Okay. Another thing, important thing that just recently happened. Player region got bumped by 0.2 HP. So like now the base D1 character will have significantly more HP regen. It is a pretty good thing for the game, in my opinion. I need to get rid of the priest before doing anything. Jump away because I'm rather hurt. Oh, this guy can go in water. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, okay. It's kind of spooky, but not really that spooky. Anyway, like now getting into fights, whenever there's a portal bolt, is not like a death sentence. I mean, I know that I have. Oh no, I got netted. It's not a very good thing. I know that I have regen, but still, I feel like I've been able to regen to full HP like very, very quickly. Get over here, no. Why are you running away? Alright. Alright. Lots of people in here. Fortunately, it seems to be going perfectly fine. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of loot and experience out of this. I don't know why all of these monsters are coming towards me. Like, I don't know what's up with this. But it definitely is the case. That's what's happening. So not much to do about it other than deal with the situation. So I have some nets. My plan for Joseph is to net I need to get rid of Joseph because I think that I am being a bit too wasteful with my time, like for the gauntlet or for the Bailey, and I want to go into the Bailey. Baileys are a pretty good thing to go into. Mm, this feels exceedingly strong in regards of the early game. Yeah. This is not the greatest of situations. I don't like it. Let's jump over here. Pretty bad jump. I needed that jump to be better. Are you standing on sparse dust? Okay. I guess I should have wreath poison. It's fine. Do you have a polearm? You have a polearm. Okay. Careful with the killer bees. I may have a lot of armor class, but they still can poison me, and by extension the damage can easily stack up when it comes to these guys. They're quite nasty. I got some leather armor of cold resistance, perhaps worth carrying for the purposes of a nice cave or so. Magic mapping. I thought that I was very close to the Bailey, but it seems that I was walking in the opposite direction. I don't know what it is. Oh, wow. Yeah, it is very far away from where I am. Let's see if I can actually reach it. Or if I already missed it or so. Oh, no, no, I'm still able to get the Bailey. That's a pretty good thing. It really feels like I have poison resistance, but I guess that's just what will happen when you have 18 armor class on D7. It was a really crazy thing that I didn't just immediately put on the chainmail. I absolutely should have. The chainmail so far seems to be way better than spellcasting. I know that eventually that will be no longer the case, but for now I might as well enjoy it. Is it the honeycombed one? It seems to be the case. I should not have that many issues with this one. Yeah, especially since I see that it's an Naxos one instead of a polearms one. Polearms are significantly worse for the player than Naxos. Significantly more powerful versus the player. I would take 100 monsters with access before 10 monsters with polearms, like in the open. Well, perhaps that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. You know the feeling. This one is the one with the Warlord. Yes, I think it is. By the way, find it interesting that this is the version that doesn't put Crystal. There's a version with Crystal here, so you know that what you will be getting into if you continue fighting. But this one doesn't have it. And yeah, I think it is the one with the Warlord. It shouldn't be that much of an issue. I think that I can kill the Warlord. I have Torment Immolation, like the good old Torment Immolation strategy might get the job done when it comes to the Warlord. What's an Armator? It's a new species that gets... It's like a rework of Palentonga. The Palentonga role got removed, but now it is a spell. So it got removed from Palentonga, but it got added as a spell, and Palentonga lost its gimmick, so it got reworked into Armator. They get double effects from potions, which is crazy. Like, that legit means that if you find a potion of experience, you're gonna level up 2 levels. It's crazy strong. It's much more powerful than Cry's Melcoat. Not only that, but it also you get double healing. Your potion effects last for twice as long. You get more value out of all of your potions. And the downside is that they read slower. They take 50% more time to read. So the old minus scroll mutation, blurry vision. After I used to hate that mutation. I've always hated Blue Division. But after playing a couple of versions with minus a scroll, some of which, by the way, have been among the most difficult versions in the entirety of the game's existence, yeah, I miss Blue Division. I really do miss Blue Division. Okay, this is not going in my favor. Can I fear you or something? This might be an issue. Yeah, especially since I cannot blink. Or I cannot jump away. Mm. I am at such low HP, don't have Zerg. A potion of Zerg would be pretty good for beating this guy. I have Immolation, but I don't have fire resistance, so I know that I would die if I tried to. And I don't have Invocations training, so no major destruction, lesser servant shenanigans. 19% chance hostile, yeah, it's kinda a bit too much for me. Oh wow, yeah, I'm losing this. Hmm. I hope that I don't die before I teleport, because I already committed to teleporting. I don't want to also waste the blink. Hmm. Oh no. Hello, Mr. Warlord. The night is coming my way. I know that, so I guess I can read blinking over here. What is this mutation? Might is nice. I don't think I have any potions of might. Oh, I have 4. I should have used that. Anyway, the potion of heal wounds that we have right here is a pretty good thing. I am going to drink it. I'm going to drink it? No, I'm not gonna drink it. I would rather use consumables here to try to beat the warlord. Okay, you know what would be great right now? Some form of throwable that I could use to hurt the warlords to make it want to step closer to me. But I don't have anything like that. No throwables, not even darts. Why no might? Because I didn't know that I had might. Now I know. So I will be using might for the future. Okay, the warlord just decided to step on it like it's nothing. Okay, it's very clearly gonna require me to fight it, so I'm gonna go for might. Sick as possible. +3 executioner's axe. I'm glad that it doesn't have poison resistance, otherwise we would be in serious trouble. Yep, this is gonna be tricky. Very, very tricky indeed, but I think we might be able to do it. I am thinking about using a potion of 3 because it's gonna give me 50% more HP and a little bit of extra armor class at the cost of guaranteeing that this guy is gonna be able to hit me. I also lose the regen because it comes from the chainmail. Let's give that a try. Let's see if I don't come to regret it. Oh, I can cast Searing Ray now, and Oh, I cannot cast Momentum Strike. I assume that I cannot cast. You cannot redirect your momentum while unable to move. Okay, the Warlord is pretty hurt. I am pretty hurt due to the Warlord. But then we got the kill, and I also regained 17 HP thanks to Maclef. Maclef gives you a lot of mana, or a lot of HP whenever you kill monsters like that with like pretty high level. In comparison, the Orc Warrior gave me like no HP back. Okay, pretty good. Oof, okay. I think we are not gonna run into anything more dangerous anymore. I think that that's it. And I wouldn't be surprised if either one of these 2 potions that I just picked up, K or J, were experienced. There's a non-zero chance of that, since this Bailey with the Warlord always, well, not always, but very frequently places potions of experience. That's a rather common thing to find in Bailey's potions of experience. A little issue that I have with my character, and you can probably tell, is the fact that it takes forever. Like a lot of tab presses to kill things, especially when the things have even the slightest amount of armor class. I'm gonna carry this out of the dungeon. I'm not gonna use it most likely, but I'd rather, not deprive myself of the option to perhaps use it. Okay, let's get out of here. We picked up all that there was to pick up, right? Staff of Cold, Staff of Poison, don't think I care. +4 hand axe, don't think I care either. Okay, not bad so far. And there it is, Potion of Experience. When did I pick that up? And also, was that identified? Because I didn't even notice. Or did it identify automatically when I went out of the gauntlet? No idea how that worked. Lots of message spam. Potion of experience. Huh. Huh. Oh, that was already identified. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna wait until I level up to 11 and then I'm gonna drink it. So I go from 11 to 13 effectively. A port is a nice thing to have. Duan and Dubesa. Well, Duan and Dubesa are not nearly as dangerous as you would think now. Like at my level is what I'm trying to say. Perhaps on D4 they would have been a pretty terrifying foe, but not right now. Alrighty, let's go down to the next level. I look forward to being able to cast these spells that I have, specifically Searing Ray. Like, I think Searing Ray kinda just replaced the entirety of my Reaver kits. It's still probably the optimal thing to do to be casting Momentum Strike and then Searing Ray, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna do that. Well, it's a lot of jacks. I'm about to level up to 11. I'll drink the Potion of Experience after I level up to 11. Perhaps drink Might right now. Okay, Potion of Experience. Gonna put that on armor. Seems pretty good to me. And now I have a Searing Ray castable. It says that it is at 17%. Perhaps I could train some more of these to make it even more castable. Like 8 or so. Oof, look at that. That's a lot of jacks. It seems to be going extremely in my favor, however, so I'm not afraid. You miscast Searing Ray. Okay. Still at full HP. As I mentioned, not very worried. That Potion of Experience was probably a game changer for my character. It gave me access to my spells again, pretty much, alongside like pretty decent melee. It's not the greatest melee ever, but it is pretty decent regardless. Definitely good enough to serve as my main way of killing things. Not only that, but I also have the Ring of Slaying and the regen from the body armor that I found, the chainmail. Pretty crazy character so far. Let's see what else we end up finding with this character. At some point I'm gonna have to get invocations with Maclev. I would personally consider that Maclev, as it is right now, is an invocations heavy god. Like, if you have not played Maclev since the healing got halved in 0.26, I think it was, give it a try. I can guarantee you that you will not be dissatisfied with the current state of Maclev as long as you treat it as an invocations heavy god more than as a way to just get passive healing on kills as it was for most of its existence. Yeah, at the very beginning I didn't really like the change, but I had a character that was almost entirely carried by a greater disruption of Maclev, so that's how I learned to love it. And it is really good indeed. Okay, we got to 8 conjurations. Should I also get 8 spellcasting? Let's do that. It's not like we really need that much experience. Perhaps get even 3 necromancy for Kiss of Death so that I don't miscast it. Though I think that I am at the point where I don't really want to cast that anymore. I wonder why I used to have See Invisible, but I don't have it anymore. Oh yeah, the ring. The ring of electricity had See Invisible. Didn't even notice that. I just saw resistance to electricity, and that's pretty much it. Because 90% of the time having See Invisible and not having See Invisible is like the same thing. You only really notice it when you actually need it. In my opinion, see invisible should be a potion. I mentioned that earlier, like, well, a couple of days ago in the roguelikes Discord, and PF expressed a little bit of interest over my idea of the potion of see invisible. Because at the end of the day, like if you think about it, it is a thing that you don't need in excess. You don't need to dedicate a slot to being able to see invisible. It is very obvious to the player whenever they're fighting something that is invisible, and by extension, it is very obvious to the player whenever they need see invisible. But the act of switching rings in crawl is rather cumbersome, and I am not fond of it. So even if I have see invisible and I'm fighting things that are invisible, I will often not put on see invisible just because I don't want to switch my rings and then switch them back. And that's why I mentioned the idea of a potion of see invisible, because a potion doesn't have those issues. You just like drink the potion and forget about it. Um, on the contrary, potion of flight is a much more or rather, like what I should say, what I meant was Ring of Light needs to stay, but Ring of See Invisible can go away, and it can be replaced by a Potion of See Invisible. And Potion of Light can maybe also go away, considering that the Ring and the Potion both have exactly the same purpose, except that the Potion's main use, which used to be mm, shenanigans in Cocytus. Yeah, you cannot do that anymore because Cocytus prevents you from drinking potions altogether. I think I may have to drink a potion of 3 for this. Searing Ray saving the day once again. Well, I guess not Searing Ray, but 3-form. 3-form gave me the poison resistance for the Hornet. Hornet was kind of getting out of control there for a second. Antique weapon shop. Ooh, jeez, look at that. Not only Sword of Songuldrak, but also Arcblade. Well, I guess we're doing an Arcblade run. I like Arcblade. It's a pretty crazy item. If I find acquirement in the near future, I would be putting that straight towards Arcblade with no regrets. Because Arcblade is like a tried and true way to get a winning character. So yeah, I look forward to amassing enough money for Arcblade. It's even great because I already have it at Mindalay. I knew that the two-head ogre was gonna come to me eventually, but I still am not ready to deal with it. Okay. Momentum strike, perhaps. That's fine. Searing ray. Don't know if it's the correct thing to do. I mean, what else can I do? Look at that guy. He's not moving towards me. Okay, so Searing Ray was the correct thing to do. The power of Scroll of Poison right there. The two-headed ogre was hurt enough that I didn't feel like venturing onto the cloud of poison in front of me. The Scroll of Poison is a pretty good scroll. It's complicated to use because it relies too much on knowing how monster AI works. But if you know how to get advantage out of it, it definitely reminds me of old Conjure Flame in its uses and applications, except for the fact that you can use it in an open area where Conjure Flame was strictly limited to a corridor. It's a pretty great item. You can absolutely get fancy with it. Perhaps it's time to get invocations. Yeah, let's get invocations. We're gonna need 15 invocations. I mean, it's not really a shame, but Maclef Greater Destruction is roughly equivalent to spellcasting. Barachi also has -1 evocations. It's one of their weakest aptitudes, so So yeah, my alternatives were I think it was Maklevo Kawaru on some. Obviously, if I had gotten some, I would have abandoned. But I would have kept Okawaru. I also thought that if I got Maklev off the altar, it would be pretty great since I got it early. And so far, well, I have to tell you that it hasn't disappointed. It's not like I'm about to die because I went Maklev. In fact, the heals have been noticeable, especially when I killed the warlord and I regained 17 HP. That was a big deal. Um, yeah, let's hope that I can kill this thing. I hate vampires. Vampires are some of my least favorite enemies in the game right now. I just feel like they are ridiculously tanky and they deal ridiculous amounts of damage. I was at full HP before fighting that vampire, but it was just hitting me for a lot of damage consistently. Every turn it was hitting me. And it also heals whenever it hits you, so it was impossible for me to kill it. And now I have to wait for the teleport. I don't have heal wounds or curing. This would be a perfect time for a scroll of holy word, but unfortunately that was removed from the game. I don't think I die before I teleport. That's hitting the vampire as well. Okay. You finished channeling your searing ray. That was annoying. You see an early vampire, like a pre-lair vampire, and it's unkillable. I legit feel that it is impossible to kill that at the point in the game where it appears. It is the same as a skeletal warrior, but unfortunately, or like fortunately for the player, the vampires don't come in bands of 4 like the skeletal warriors do. Mm, Vampires can hex, however, which can make it significantly harder to run away from. Um, Alrighty. Considering what we know about this level and the fact that there is a vampire in here, perhaps the correct thing to do is to not be in this level at all. So let's just go for greener pastures, aka D11. I feel like in recent times, every encounter that I've had with a vampire is just incredibly hard. Um, I wonder if that's related to the kind of characters that I've been playing or so. Like, is there any character that can actually kill vampires easily? Mm. Oh, look at that. I went berserk. Might as well take advantage of that. Alrighty. I got a robe of willpower that I am not going to equip. My current body armor is way better than a robe of willpower. I would like to have willpower, but it is not that important, at least for now. The things that are being apported by my chainmail are a bit better. You know what's not great, however? Having to fight Herolcha. Herolcha is a pretty bad thing to have to fight against when you don't have the willpower. I was just talking about willpower and how unnecessary it was in the early game. And here we go, 42% chance to banish Herolcha. Or like, the other way around. Herolcha has a 42% chance to banish me. I guess we're reading teleports and breaking line of sight. And leaving the level. Where is Herolcha? Where did I find Herolcha? Okay, she's all the way over there. Quite far away from me. Nothing to fear. Let's pick this up. I have a couple of identifies. Haste, pretty good find. Magic. I haven't gotten swiftness. Like I found the spell really early, and I didn't get it. I haven't gotten it because I'm not so sure that will actually be good with Barachi. I don't know if I can outspeed monsters when I swift, so I don't really want to dedicate any amount of experience to finding out if that is the case. It would be a great thing if the spell somehow told you, hey, with your speed, whenever you cast swiftness, your new speed is gonna be this. So you know if you can run away from certain things. I don't have curing, and I'm next to a boulder beetle while confused. This is a bad situation. Okay, so two good things happened here. I got unconfused and the boulder beetle jumped away, which means that I can just read a scroll of poison. And unfortunately, the boulder beetle jumped out of the poison almost immediately. Boulder beetles are so cheap. They were cheap for many versions. Like I think it was obvious to everyone that having a monster that's twice as fast as the player and can hit for up to 64 damage appear as early as D6 is like not particularly good. It's so early that you cannot just say, well, just use consumables because at that point you may not even have teleport identified. There's the story of someone very recently that had two scrolls of identify by D12. If that kind of thing happens to you, then you're not gonna survive many encounters that are consumable reliant, such as a boulder beetle. Um, and yeah. Fortunately, the current iteration of Boulder Beetle, while threatening, is no longer like, oh, I'm gonna die, levels of Disastros, mm, which is a pretty good thing. Oh, look at that, a two-headed ogre. Curare. It misses. Did I lose the dart? I didn't lose the dart. It's a pretty good thing. Mm, mm, hmm. I guess I can start to do minor destruction, and so I wonder if it's more powerful than Searing Ray to use minor destruction. At the very least, it's gonna have more range. Stun arrow, look at that. 1 HP stun arrow, not bad. Momentum strike, good damage on the two-headed ogre. Alright, pretty good, pretty good. Not bad at all. Two-headed ogres also got nerfed, in case you were unaware. I don't want Guardian Spirit. My mana is already quite low as it is, and I need it to be lowered by monster attacks. Guardian Spirit is a property that is only good on some very specific characters. I don't think that there's any characters that are like, oh, Guardian Spirit, that's exactly what I needed. Like, that will save my character. So it's never great, I think, but it like its maximum level of value is of it being good, which is kind of lame. Um, I like big impact things. For example, regen is a big impact item. Um, I feel like if you have regen, you're significantly more likely to survive the early game. And by the way, this character got regen. Whenever I see an amulet of regen early on, I just rejoice. Can I cast a momentum strike? Okay, I can. Oh, it missed, so it didn't root me. That's a pretty good thing, because now I can reposition away from the Efreet. After all, I do not have the resistance, so killing this Efreet is gonna be very difficult, as if killing the vampire wasn't already difficult enough. I was just about to say how it hadn't gone invisible, but here it is. Can I cast? No, like I was about to cast Momentum Strike, but I think that would be a death sentence. Considering how difficult it was to, or like how unsuccessful it was for me to fight the vampire early on. This time I try Might, and Might was a good way to get rid of the vampire. Oh, the Efreet is also mighty. It stole a potion of this thing from me. Potion of Might. Well, unfortunately, it hit me pretty hard with a fireball, so I have to blink away. I wonder if this guy can walk towards me and fireball me. I'm outside of the range, so I think I'm fine. This doesn't reveal as many tiles as I would have wanted it to. I think we're cool. Yeah, we're cool. The next level is mostly safe, almost entirely safe. The only thing that I haven't killed in that level is Arolcha. So unfortunately I lose my might, but so does this Efreet. I should probably put on a Ring of Fire for the purposes of dealing with this guy. Gonna remove my slaying momentarily, and I'm gonna cast Sitting Ray at this guy. I think that I should be able to kill it. Also Momentum Strike, because it's not like I have a lot of plans for moving anyway. Let's go back to the Ring of Slaying. It was a good thing that I decided to carry that Ring of Fire. Perhaps doing these bolts so early into the game is playing with forces beyond my control. Okay, I got shafted 2 floors. That was slightly unexpected, but we find the upstairs and we find Francis. Okay. How are we going to do this? This was very unexpected. We're at a point in the game where Francis is actually kind of scary. So what I'm going to do is wait for monsters to be in front of her and then just jump past so that way I can make it to the stairs. It was a good thing to know that Francis is in that part of the level. Also Erolcha. Better be careful around Erolcha. Doesn't seem that I have Fogu, nor summons, nor butterflies. It's perhaps one of these. It's certainly not that one. Oh, hold on. I want to get rid of Kiss of Death so I don't accidentally cast it and drain myself. Whew, look at that. I already thought that the previous iteration of Scroll Butterflies was pretty good, but this one is something else, as you can see. Really, really strong. Perhaps I should get Hailstorm for the purposes of dealing with Arolcha. But regardless, the butterflies will protect me for long enough that I can just make a run for it. It's time to go to Lure. I don't think Arolcha is gonna catch up to me. Regardless, I'm gonna rest my hop in the previous level because I think that's just the safest thing to do. Let's go over here. I'll fight the Arolcha properly when I have the ability to do so. That is, of course, when I have the resistance. Oh, I found a Scimitar of Flaming. That looks like a pretty reasonable weapon upgrade for me. I guess I can turn off Invocations for a bit, turn on Long Blades, and train it to 14. And then just pump Dexterity. Go for a good old Swords Dexterity character. Do I have the ability to kill her like this? I think I do, but I need to put on this poison resistance. What happens if I take off the Ring of Strength? I think we're fine. I mean, my success rates do take a little bit of a dive, but it is not the end of the world. I want to fight her in a 1 versus 1, however, I don't feel comfortable fighting her with any kind of support. Especially knowing that in this level there's an Ultra, so like if I have to disengage by going upstairs, I could be stuck in a complicated situation immediately if I go upstairs. Yeah. Okay. Need to be at full HP, but I can kill her. I'm gonna start with Momentum Strike, then Searing Ray. That dealt about half her HP in damage. We're fine. You cannot move. You're no longer robbed of momentum. The momentum dissipates harmlessly. Oh, it must have missed versus the invisible monster. That's interesting. Okay, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. That's a pretty bad thing. I'm gonna go for curing here because I don't think I can afford to be confused around Erika. She must be pretty hurt. I don't think she's about to die, but she must be pretty hurt. What if I use minor destruction? That didn't hit. That didn't hit either. Huh. Okay, there we go. You hit something, and I get my reward, which is this +3 Scimitar of Flaming. It's gonna be a nice thing to upgrade into something that doesn't destroy my TAF key like by like its inherent nature. Unfortunately, short blade of speed will make you press tab a lot, which can get pretty annoying. Oh, by the way, since I'm marked, I am guaranteed to be pulling an Ultra towards me. Normally, the correct thing to do whenever you get marked is to go to a previous level, but not this time, because as we just saw, Rolchak was there waiting for me. Do I have digging? I don't. Okay, I'm gonna read a teleport because it's too many monsters for me to deal with. I could deal with one or two. Classic Lair 1 Death Yak Band, of course. I think a Death Yak Band for Lair 1 is a bit too much. So I'm gonna skip to Lair 2. I'm sure that Lair 5 will be roughly the same level of difficulty, perhaps a little bit harder than the Lair 1 that I got this time, with so many uniques and nasty things. I'm gonna read another teleport. I'm just like pulling too many different bands of monsters at the same time. It's just a bunch of fights that normally you would be able to walk away from, but being a Barachi, I don't really get that luxury. But yeah, this is going well. My weapon upgrade is nice. I deal significantly more damage whenever I tap now. That means less taps. That means faster gameplay. Yay for faster gameplay. I'm still using the slaying. I took off the ring of strength. I don't think I'm gonna use that anymore. And I also don't think I'll be using that ring of wizardry at all. And this early game is extremely complicated. We've been getting a lot of very nasty things. But I also did get a potion of experience. It's just a shame that it was with a Barachi and not with an Armator. I would have loved to see that double potion of experience effect with Armator. Okay, we got a Scarf of Resistance. That's a pretty great item to have. I already got petrified twice. Yeah, I'm starting to be a little bit starved for willpower. You know, it's a shame because there's exactly one monster that checks willpower here that is not like a unique or something like that, and we've already encountered a basilisk a couple of times. First time in Lure, well, I guess this is the second time. But in the dungeon, I did encounter a basilisk when I was fighting something else. And yeah, pretty nasty thing. But at least it didn't send me to the abyss. Okay, we have identified all of the potions, and I also already have a scroll blinking, so I'm okay with... Oh, come on, that's what I wanted to prevent. This is pretty bad. Because I know that this fight is not gonna end perfectly for me. I'm gonna need to rest, is what I'm trying to say. So being marked means that I won't be able to rest. It just like enables Kaslar mode pretty much. I have cancellation. I think that by the time I need cancellation later in the game, I'm gonna have one. So I'm gonna use it right now. If I die in the late/end game because I used a potion of cancellation in Lure, then that just means that I got absolutely shafted. It can happen. It's definitely happened in the past. It's happened to me in the past that I just use all of my potions of resistance before SOT, and then I get killed by a SOT 1 electric golem. So hopefully an equivalent of that is not gonna happen today. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I hope that you all had a good weekend. Mine was okay. I got to see a friend that I hadn't seen since pre-COVID, so that was pretty cool. And I'll be seeing that friend much more frequently because of the new card shop that my other friend opened. We both like to play card games, so we're gonna be playing there. Gonna be cool. Gonna be pretty cool. We got a Staff of Conjuration. I don't think that will do a lot for this character. When it comes to Reavers, you just have to go with the early game things that you end up finding. Like the floor really defines your character way more than the start does. The starting spells are strong, but they're not gonna be capable of carrying you beyond the early game. So it is very obvious that you kind of want to replace them at some point in the near future. That melee dealt a lot of damage to me. You know, melee are classic, very, very high damage, very, very low HP monsters. The unfortunate thing with melee is that they also happen to have evasion, so it's never a certainty that you're gonna be able to kill them. Unless you have explosions, and I don't really have that other than my Ice Blast, which is untrained. Mm, Not even Hailstorm, which used to ignore evasion, works anymore. Since it got reworked, now it's level 3 and can miss, but deals the same damage. Regardless, I think the ability to, or like the fact that it lost the inability to miss is a gargantuan nerf to the thing. I wonder if I should be fighting in this spot. Probably not. Oh, that's not a good thing. I might want to Might and Haste. I would probably Berserk as well if I could, but I can't. Um, I'm only gonna Might. Last couple of times that I fought uh, Snork hasn't been as dangerous as you would think. And I just have to go and say that. Alright. You know what? It's fine because I can jump away and then use Ice Blast. That doesn't kill Snork. Perhaps Momentum Strike? Snork dies. You're unable to move. That's fine. Kind of complicated fight. Yeah, kind of complicated. Not a big fan of how that went, but I didn't have to use the Scrolls of Blinking, which, as all people that watch my stream know, as everyone knows, are the most valuable consumable that exists in the game. So I really consider every fight where I don't have to use a Scroll of Blinking a massive win. And fights where I have to use Scroll Blinking a bit of a loss. A moderate to big loss actually, because depending on where in the point I have, or where in the game I have to use Scroll Blinking. Like for example, in a Lair branch, I would feel bad over using a Scroll Blinking, because it means that I have to survive for longer with less resources. But if it's in Sot, then I don't particularly care about using 2 or 3 as long as I have a bunch of them. Because that's pretty much what they are there for, to be used before you end the game. What better point to use things than right before the game finishes, right? This Lair 5 has a bit too many frogs. I'm gonna stall. No, I think it's bit of a risky maneuver. I was gonna wait until I got my jump back, but I think that I might die if I continue doing that. Alright, fortunately the teleport goes off before the Hydra gets to hit me. Not that I am particularly afraid of Hydras because of the scimitar of flaming that I got. And yeah, after this I should be ready to do Lair 1 because as we have already established, Lair 1 is kinda messed up. Okay, got rid of a Death Yak. Got rid of 2 Death Yaks and the Frog and the 3rd Death Yak. I deal pretty decent damage with this thing. The Flaming Brand probably helps a bit. But you know what doesn't help, however? The 14 Dexterity that I have. I think that Reaver is not that good for Sword's Dexterity purposes, since after all it also gets less Dexterity. It's like one of the backgrounds with the lowest Dexterity in the entirety of the game. I see a choke point over here. Perhaps I should try to make my way over there. Okay, get hit quite a lot. Not only from attacks of opportunity, but also because Barachi are just straight up slow. So for Barachi, attacks of opportunity are not as much of an issue because you still cannot walk anyway. It's funny how the species that were bad got not necessarily made better by the introduction of attacks of opportunity, but they got made less bad because attacks of opportunity were just a nerf all across the board to every crawl character. But especially the melee crawl characters, since those ones already were on, like, those ones were already kind of bad, and now they're even worse because not only are they bad because they're melee, but also they cannot run away from things. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here, gonna be put to sleep. It's fine because I'm only getting hit by one monster. So even if I get put to sleep, I don't really take that much damage. Not bad, not bad. I see a wraith. This wraith means Josephine, which is something that I should try to fight in a 1 versus 1. Fighting Josephine plus a bunch of wraiths while slowed could be a death sentence. Okay, bring it on, Josephine. Not afraid. There we go. Easy kill. Didn't take any damage. I like how sometimes these little perfect choke points generate where I can just get in and kill whatever band of monsters I happen to be fighting against in Lure. I look forward to doing Lure 1. After doing this, I really don't think that Lure is gonna be that difficult. Or like that Lure 1 is not gonna be that difficult, is what I mean. Gotta be careful with this Catoble Pass. That's fine. That's not so fine. It positioned itself in such a way that it cannot petrify me. I really need to kill this Catoble Pass like right now. I'm gonna go for Major Destruction. Lightning Bolt that kills the Catoble Pass. I would like to be able to finish that guy off, but I think that the correct thing to do is to just run away. Those guys are gonna catch up to me, but by the time they do such a thing, I'll be healthy enough to be able to take them on. By the way, I should have pathed towards that little hole in the wall so that I could fight these guys. Let's see if I can jump in there. Okay, I wasn't able to, but it came pretty close. Close enough to not really be an issue at all. Man, this is a pretty strong character. I think the Scimitar has been a big thing when it comes to the power level of this character. I think that I want to perhaps start training more fighting, maybe even dodging. I'm gonna train fighting. After all, I do have +2 on it. It is quite high. I do well with species with good aptitudes. Unless I get unlucky in the early game. But at this point, like, I'm pretty powerful, as you can see. It's not every fight that makes me want to disengage. It's only very, very specific fights, like fighting multiple bands of monsters at the same time. Pretty good halberd, pretty great actually. Unfortunately, cannot really use it. My training is all in swords, and swords don't cross-train with halberds. Pretty decent arbalest. Ring of Flight. We're not gonna need that. We're also not gonna need this Amulet of Fate. I was carrying it because I briefly considered it. When I found it, I almost put it on, but I decided against it. Let's see, we have a great sword. Oh, we have Arcblade. You're right. I kind of forgot all about Arcblade. We're about to get enough money to buy it, and I think perhaps I shouldn't have trained for long blades, keeping Arcblade in mind. But anyway, I won't really have to invest any more experience into anything. It's a good thing that I remember Darkblade because I was about to start training long blades for a great sword. But then I searched for sword and I saw the sword of Sunguldrok and I got reminded of Arcblade. Oh yeah, there was this Lure 1. Look at that, like a full Death Yak band on Lure 1. Okay, that's exactly how I wanted that to go. My main way of surviving that was for the wolf to get killed in like 1 or 2 actions, and then me being able to close the door on the yaks, but this is not going in my favor. I'm gonna have to use blinking. Yeah, fighting 2 monsters at the same time is just way too much. Especially when it's 2 monsters of this like level of quality. Both of them are among the most damaging monsters that exist in Lure. Fear at this point is not gonna cut it. I am going to go for blinking, unfortunately. Gonna have to blink into the unknown. Hope that I don't get killed by it. Now I can try to fear, and it succeeds. I can probably rest here for a bit. That's not great. Hopefully you are alone. You are killing me. Alright, you're gonna kill me. I'm gonna go for fear again. Succeeds. No digging. I have to teleport if I want to get away from this one. I think I can probably wait until that guy is about to come back, and then I can re-teleport just to get a little bit of extra regen. That guy is pretty fast in water, it seems. Man, this level is pretty wild. This level one is pretty crazy strong. Erolcha will banish me unless I use these scroll butterflies. Okay, I think I can make a run for it again, just like I did earlier. Which level is the one that has Orc? Is it D12? No, it's not D12. It is D9, I think. Yep. Alright. I'm gonna go downstairs. Oh, Francis. I'm gonna go upstairs. Oh, I lost my butterflies. Erolcha is chasing after me. She's invisible, but she's still chasing after me. Wow. She just straight up shot through the Howler Monkey to deal damage to me. That's pretty bad. The Fireball engulfs you, but does no damage. It's not so bad, but I'm still about to get banished while marked. That's a pretty horrible thing. She does not see invisible, does she? She can see invisible, literally the first line of text. That's a bit of a shame. There's not much that I can do about that. I don't have the resistance, and I don't think I'll be able to beat her in a battle of... Okay, this is fine. I can just use that. Oh, she blinked in front of me. Man, Erolcha is such a ridiculous monster. To find Preler, that is, with blinking and invisibility and banishment. It's just a combination of pretty messed up things for a crawl character to deal with. Okay, she's not gonna come towards me. Let's go do Orc Ice Cave. I have the resistance already. In fact, having the resistance makes me able to drop the Ring of Fire. Looking forward to going into that ice cave, hopefully finding a kite shield of cold resistance. I know for sure that I couldn't care about crystal plate of cold resistance, which seems what I find every time that I go into an ice cave lately. I am too confused. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that I don't have willpower. Hopefully that will remediate itself in the near future. Otherwise we could be in a little bit of an issue. How are we going to do this? Perhaps wait for them to queue up instead of running towards them and then using major destruction. Okay. Looking pretty good. I think I can probably tap down the last remaining ones. I'm gonna get dexterity because this is gonna be a dexterity character. Like high evasion and stuff. After all, I do think that dexterity is a pretty great stat in this version of the game. This guy slowed me. If I take any amount of damage, like, yeah, I was ready to jump away. Not get out, but jump away and start blasting with greater destruction. So did you know that lesser destruction doesn't cost piety? I had a demon spawn once that was running around using lesser destruction as its main way of killing things. Let me tell you that it was not the most pleasant experience with this character. Guardian spirits, more like garbage spirits. It really feels like that sometimes. I am inclined to agree with you in that front. We finally found acquirement. Great Sword of Draining, Boots of Flying, Staff of Conjuration are 709 gold. I am very much leaning towards getting the money, since the money will guarantee me a pretty great weapon. I don't have +2 boots, so I could get that for two scrolls, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm okay with not doing that. Yeah, like the acquirement would functionally be the same as 2 scrolls of enchant armor is what I meant. The flying aspect is irrelevant. These are not child soldiers. Yeah, not yet. I will play child soldiers on stream, but not today. I still need to unlock the mode that I actually want to play on stream, which is Hector hard mode, and I haven't done that yet. What is Armator? New, well, reworked Palentonga. Because Palentonga were obviously garbage because they just like didn't have anything going for them other than the gimmick. And everyone knew that, so they got removed. Well, kinda removed slash reworked. The Palentonga roll is now a spell, so every character can use the Palentonga roll now. And Palentonga got a new gimmick where they get double effect from potions, but they have Bloody Vision. You know the old Bloody Vision mutation? They have that like as a racial mutation. Um, mm, Perhaps I shouldn't spam Major Destruction that much, but it does say small, so I can probably do so. Especially since I'm not really doing it that much. Mm, I can probably run towards this one. Mm, okay, I can probably finish it off with melee. Why would anyone want to play that? The minus a scroll, or well, it's not minus a scroll, it's Blurry Vision. The Blurry Vision Armator, no idea. It sounds interesting to me, and in fact, I was gonna start an Armator at the beginning of the stream, but I forgot that I had this character. I made this character while I was recording a video that hasn't gone to YouTube yet. And that's what I was gonna be playing today, but then Armator released, and I decided that if I killed this character, I would be playing Armator, which hasn't happened yet, despite my best efforts. Well, not really. There were some situations where I came pretty close to dying. In fact, there was one situation at the very beginning of the game where on D2 I almost died to Natasha, and then I also had a 1 HP situation. Yeah, D4 1 HP iguana. I think I was fighting two iguanas and a slime and a jelly at the same time. It was pretty messed up. Um, and apart from that, there was, I suppose, the very recent situation in Lure 1 wasn't even recorded, but I had a pretty close call in Lure 1 versus a deep no Death Yak, sorry, a Death Yak band and a Komodo Dragon. It's just way too many dangerous dudes to be fighting against. Did I get my money? Let's get my money. Let's go buy the Arc Blade. I could also use the Sword of Sanguldrok. I think it might not be terrible, or a terrible idea to carry the two of them. Let's go to no, let's go to Orc 2. Okay. I can jump away from this setting, and I will absolutely do that. I landed in close to the best spot, not bad. I have two mites for hastes. I'm not gonna use might, nor haste. The Arcblade gives me resistance to electricity. I was thinking about how it would probably be kind of bad to be stuck fighting using the Arcblade with no resistance to electricity. I kind of want to go for a Greater Servant, but I know that's a bit of a mistake. I don't think I should do this. I think doing like meleeing this setting is like playing with fire. I'm gonna get killed. Yeah, but it's almost dead, and I have a. This is a quick blade or a rapier? It's a rapier. Okay, I don't even have Mindele on it. I should fix that. I kind of want to melee it again, but like, can I die from it? 53 and 53, so that's a yes. I could theoretically get hit for 106 damage and an absolute maximum damage roll. Those ones don't really happen that frequently. But anyway, I am gonna do it. Okay, I killed it. But yeah, that's the kind of situation where like you just have to hope that you don't get extremely unlucky. And then if you do, you die, and then you're like, oh, I should have played around that. Um, I would say that this is the early game equivalent of fighting a Dreadlich at 1% chance to get Hexter. So, like, where you know that the chances are so low that it doesn't make sense to play around the possibility of getting Hexed, but you're still gonna feel bad when you eventually do hit the 1% and you get hexed and you die as a result of it, because in SOT 5 getting paralyzed is like a death sentence. Almost impossible to survive that, especially when the monster that paralyzes you also likes to summon Hell Sentinels and Fiends. Yeah, I think that Dread Leeches, or like in general, the paralysis spell is kinda. It's just. It just generates feel bad moments where there's a chance of you getting killed um, by just straight up getting unlucky in situations where, like, yeah, like playing around that was not the correct thing to do because it's so unlikely for such a thing to happen. Mm. But anyway, that's just what I think. Major destruction on these guys since they queued up so nicely. Man, major destruction, dude. Even on a Barachi, which has a pretty bad aptitude for invocations, this is still so strong. Look at how these guys have gotten so destroyed. The knight, did it use a potion or something? No, no, it didn't. It's just that I haven't really dealt that much damage to it. Gotten some rough rolls on these guys. Okay, there we go. Hopefully no more knights. I can deal with knights, but they need to come one at a time. If there's two of them plus a warrior at the same time, then we are in a bit of an issue. I don't have potions of curing, no potions of heal wounds. I have to wait out the confusion. Pretty rough situation. Been getting hexed left and right with this character. Look forward to finding a ring of willpower. My ring slots are pretty much free. One of them is Ring of Slaying and the other one is Ring of Poison Resistance. And I can afford to not to have poison resistance for a while. Talking about monsters that can hex you and kill you. The Orc Sorcerer definitely fits the criteria quite well. Oof, okay. Mighty Saint Roca, how are we going to deal with that? Do I even need these shops? I don't have a lot of money, but it does have a lot of utility to see what the shops have, because maybe they have something that I may want to play around, like build around having that item at some point. Gonna rest of the hop. Gonna bring this guy upstairs. Mighty Orc Knight, I kill it in 1 versus 1, but I'm not gonna go down to fight Saint Roca. I will go back to that eventually. Oh, look at that, more curare. Okay, that kinda hurts. Stop doing that. It slowed me, but it didn't poison me. That's a strange occurrence. I was just about to say how I was so glad to have resistance to poison already equipped to avoid the slow, but it still happened. Alrighty. Let's skip that D11. I'll come back to that when I have willpower. I think that with what I currently have, I might be able to kill Frances as long as she doesn't get lucky with a 60 damage iron shot or so. She can deal 78 maximum with her iron shot. Fortunately, that doesn't happen and I kill her before she can. Chainmail of willpower. Okay, so my current chainmail has 5 intelligence and 3 dexterity and regen. And not only that, but it's also more enchanted. I could switch to that. but I don't want to switch to that. It would be a switch that would be like a strictly a downgrade, losing me my regen and losing me a little bit of stats that help me cast spells in this heavy armor, only for the willpower, which is kind of proving itself to be a necessity. Perhaps what I could do is just switch for the sole purpose of getting rid of El Olcha, and after that I could switch back to what I have. That doesn't sound like a terrible plan. I guess bring it on, Uruk. Why did I take off poison resistance versus Uruk with her +7 scimitar of venom? It's fine. It's not really that much of an issue. The boulder bill is rolling at me, so I'm gonna step over here and read a scroll of poison. And it's not gonna destroy me when it hits me. I'm really glad that these guys got nerfed. It was a nerf that should have happened pretty much the week after these guys got introduced into the game. Blows my mind that it took so long for them to get nerfed, but it finally happened. Better late than never, I suppose. And that's part of the reason why I say this version is looking bright. It's nerfing some of the monsters that are the most BS. Orc warriors and orc knights also got nerfed because they were just too powerful for most melee characters. Only like the most powerful ones could deal with them. Especially whenever they all mightied each other, which did tend to happen quite frequently, unfortunately. I'm gonna tab until I get hit again by the big slime creature. Okay, it didn't happen. Man, Arcblade is a beast of a weapon, especially with slaying. Since it's a fast weapon, it just applies the slaying more, and it's a weapon of electricity as well. So like it's just pretty good. I wonder if if the static discharge that the Arcblade uses or the Arcblade casts scales with the amount of damage that you deal with the base attack, because that's how Devastator works, the shillelagh that casts Shatter. Um, if so, that's nice. It especially synergizes with Slaying, but it's not like Slaying needs even any more synergy whenever I'm already using it with a fast weapon. Alright, so I got min delay on that. I guess I could train dodging because I'm gonna be leveling up some dodging. I still haven't found a shield. I have that buckler on D10. Perhaps I should run back and grab it. After all, bucklers are kinda free. I think I can kill this guy in a 1 versus 1. Always scary to fight skeletal warriors, but I could kill it. Okay, D10. I think this level, or D10 is the level that has Erolcha. If I put on the willpower, I shouldn't be in such a rough position when it comes to dealing with her. Let's go ahead and do that right now. No. D11 was the level with Erolcha. Let's go ahead and find her. Aha, there you are. What's your chance to banish me now? 9%. Much more unreasonable. Yep. You remember what I said earlier about the 1% chance leech? This is the early game version of that. Should I have played around this? No, because the chances were low enough to warrant not playing around it. It still happens. And if I die, I'm gonna look back and see this is Scroll of Butterflies and this is Scroll of Fear, and I'm gonna say, man, I wish I had used those. Let's see if I can get out of the Abyss now. Regardless, obviously wearing Willpower didn't get the job done versus Erolcha. Hey, look at that. Very quick Abyss exits. I have immunity to getting banished, so this is a time to strike. You have it for like 10 turns or so whenever you get banished and escape, so that you don't get constantly banished, because that was an issue in earlier times with Crawl. That's a pretty welcome change in my opinion. Mm, okay. Rupert. Unfortunately for me, I don't have the poison package. The poison package has been my go-to spell for killing Rupert for quite a while. We know that this level belongs to Rupert, so I'm gonna be skipping it, but I wanna see what this is. Nothing that we care about. Dragon form is great. I wonder if dragon form is like optimal, like if every character should just go for dragon form whenever they find it. Um, Gotta make some experiments to like actually force dragon form immediately as I find it with every character that finds it. That's fine. Those guys are gonna blow up, all of them. I don't have to do much. Oh, that guy is not standing on fire. Hold on, let me fix that. Greater destruction. I heard something about a new spell, but I don't know when I heard it or where I heard it. Um, but it was like an effect that gave the old Rod of Ignition attack, where it was a beam that didn't deal damage, but made an explosion to whatever it hit. So it was like the old like what came to crawl before Ignition was a player spell. I heard that spell like that was gonna be making a comeback, but I'm not so sure about it. Or I don't know if it even made it to Trunk, or if it's gonna make it to Trunk. Maybe it will be stuck um, in the limbo of experimental versions that I don't really play on stream. Mm. Anyway, I think that would be a nice thing to have, like a cool spell. I hope that this wizard doesn't banish me. I cannot really put on the willpower. Oh, you know what I have? I have silence. I can just use silence to guarantee that that I won't get banished by this wizard. You know what? Perhaps get rid of the Cyclops first. Oh, that got rid of the wizard as well. Not bad. Not bad. Hmm. Immolation time. Definitely immolation time. Minor destruction. I don't really need to use major destruction. I just need to do a little bit of damage in a beam to get rid of those bees. I mentioned the thing that I mentioned regarding like the ignition spell because what I just did with immolation reminded me of that. It would be a cool thing to be added to the game. All right, I don't think I'm gonna need to use immolation to get rid of the rest of these. Minor destruction. We don't need major destruction. We get a little bit of an explosion, not bad. We got rid of the queen bee, so now we don't have to deal with berserk bees, which can get pretty scary. Treasure trove, 6 scrolls of blinking. It's a shame that no treasure trove generated in my game. I would have liked to get a treasure trove, but it unfortunately didn't happen. You resist with some effort, okay. Gonna go downstairs, put on my chainmail of willpower, go upstairs, get rid of this wizard, and then switch to the other thing. Because at the end of the day, I am feeling the regen. Oh, look at that, a buckler of regen. It's a better buckler than the one that I had in the floor, so I'm gonna be equipping this. Alrighty, because it's pretty much free. Fire resistance is, however, significantly better than reflection, especially on a buckler. So I'm gonna be putting that on. Hold on. Just accidentally picked something up that I didn't want. Goodbye, buckler of reflection. Okay, I wonder if I should get rid of the ring of resistance to electricity, considering that I am wielding Arcblade, and that I am very, very likely to finish the game wielding Arcblade. Did I get Swamp? I got Shoals, so that's even more reason to say that I am not going to be unwielding the Arcblade. I was briefly considering sticking around with the Scimitar to chop off Hydra heads, but since we didn't get swamped, that's not really gonna be an issue for the rest of the game. Mm. It seems that this character is not gonna die. At this point, if this character was to die, I think I would be done with Crawl for the night. Um, but it is not looking like it's gonna die, is what I'm trying to say. So let's see how far we can take it, at the very least. And then whenever I finish this character, one way or the other, I can try to play an Armator. Um, yeah, the Bloody Vision doesn't sound that terrible. Like, at least you know that's coming. That's one of the messed up things about the new minus scroll mutation, you know? I guess I call it new, but it's not really that new anymore. But you know what I mean, you know? I've been playing this for a while, many, many years, so things are gonna appear new to me. Um, Anyway, my issue with minus scroll is that you never knew when it was gonna get triggered. So, like, you could be at full HP, get hit once, and then you're minus scroll, and then you're kind of dead from, like, literally the first attack. That was something that tended to happen rather frequently in SOT, unfortunately for everyone. I am out of scrolls of poison, so I'm gonna have to tank this. Deals very little damage, not bad. Man, Arcblade is melting things pretty hard. Yeah, we went for quite a while without the golden eye paralyzing me. Or like, not paralyzing me, confusing me. Was a rather lucky run. Okay, I have 2 pips of fire resistance. Not worried about this guy. Didn't get scales, however. I was thinking about maybe using fire scales. Probably not. I don't know what I would like to wear with this character. Maybe Quicksilver scales, if I am in dire need of the resistance. I could also use Swamp scales. We just got Swamp scales. They're right there on the floor. Okay, it sure is nice to have resistance to electricity. This is such a good character. Been having a blast with this character because it actually is quite powerful. It doesn't struggle in many situations, and I like it when my characters don't struggle in like the average situation. If I have a character that struggles a bit too much in average situations, in like 1 versus 1 fights versus random monsters, that's a pretty painful character for me. If it's a situation where I obviously shouldn't be in and I still choose to fight it and I get into problems because of that, then that's perfectly understandable. I wouldn't complain about that, but I feel like my characters every now and then just like are weak enough that a few monsters or like even one monster, like a normal band in bolts, for example, could be potentially deadly if I get unlucky enough. But I don't think this is that kind of character, fortunately. I guess maybe we can try to kill Saint Roca now and find out what the shops have. Saint Roca with a polearm. What kind of polearm is it? Blade of Fire Resistance. Pretty rough. Been getting smitten quite a lot by Saint Roca. I wonder how much evasion I would gain from putting on 6 strength. Okay, how are we going to do this? At least Saint Roca doesn't have poison resistance, so I could go for Net Curare. Okay, fighting a 1 versus 1 whenever possible. Saint Roca disappeared. Saint Roca reappeared. Okay. Saint Roca is smiting me. It's very difficult to take a fight versus Saint Roca at full HP because you're almost immediately gonna get smitten. Saint Roca's smite is extremely frequent. It's like one of the most frequent actions that any monster does in the game. Like, I think in any given turn, Saint Roca has like a 1 in 3 chance to smite you. That's how excessive the smiting of Saint Roca is. In case you ever wondered why Saint Roca seems to smite pretty much every turn. it is because of that. Monsters have different weights to the actions that they can do, and the weights are hidden from the player to reduce the complexity of the things that they have to think about to avoid optimization from the players. That is a very intentional design decision, but that's how it works. By the way, when it comes to weights of actions from monsters, the only one that I know from memory is pretty much that one, just because it is so ridiculous. Wizard Ike, thank you for the raid, I appreciate it. I hope that you had a good time. I am assuming playing Crawl today. If you're new in the stream and you just arrived from Wizard Ike's, I am 9 Settler and I play Crawl and other things. More often than not, Rift Wizard being the other thing, but I am introducing new games to the rotation that I am excited about. And you may be interested in checking them out whenever I do stream them. Hello, Neuroactivo. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see what these books have. Nope. 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 This book needs a third spell. Yeah, it really needs a third spell. Like, would it be that bad to give this book Summon Dragon? After all, it's supposed to be the highest level summon book. It needs like Haunt or Summon Dragon or something. It already has 2 great spells, but like books are supposed to have 3 spells, not only 2. Airstrike, nah. I didn't get Swiftness because I don't know if Swiftness works well enough with a frog to be worth it. Haunt, but no. There's not many spells that I would want with this character. I mean, I want Poisonous Vapors. I'm probably gonna be getting that. Stormform. Okay, I don't have Ignite Poison, so not gonna be getting Poisonous Vapors just yet until I have Ignite Poison. Scroll of Identify. I don't have any unidentified items. Good thing to check. I'm gonna buy this Wand of Quicksilver. Let's take a look at this. Not desirable. I'll leave it alone. How's the run going? The run is going well. Very well, in fact. And not only do I have Arc Blade, but I also have Buckler of Fire Resistance, Scarf of Resistance. I have a +5 Chainmail that I found very, very early into the game, and that I almost didn't use because I was casting spells. And then I was like, let's try the chainmail. And then I just like used the chainmail and I was stabbing and I kind of figured that it was better than the casting the Reaver spells. So yeah, it's been going pretty well, is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, the character does have one big weakness, and that is its absolute lack of willpower. I actually got banished, but I found the exit very, very quickly after I got banished. Yep, enter the abyss, escape the abyss almost immediately, and I took advantage of the banishment immunity that you get shortly after escaping the abyss to kill Arolcha. I used a potion of attraction and just like killed her. Funnily enough, like I have one source of willpower, which is the chainmail willpower that you can see right there. I put that on for fighting Erolcha. Erolcha had a 9% chance to banish me, and it still happened. First try. It was just disappointing that such a thing came to happen. But at least I managed to survive it. So now we are going to be going to the mid game. Yes, now we're going to the mid game. Shoals or Spider? I guess we're going to Spider, but I don't want to go into Spider just yet. I think that it's time to face my fears and actually deal with Lerwan, because my Lerwan was ridiculous. It had these Death Yaks and Harold and Erika. So yeah, it's been very difficult for me to deal with all of that, specifically the Death Yaks. They just hit way too hard. And also this was the level where Elocha was, so it was very difficult for me to retreat into safety and like stir dance these guys. Since Harold is the master of marking people without willpower, I was just marked and then pulled Elocha towards me. It was not a very good situation, but it seems to have been fixed already. Okay, we finally got the trigger of that. Whenever it triggers, it just like deals so much damage. Let's go upstairs. Okay. Like being able to stir dance and not lose all of my HP. This is a pretty decent character because it can do such a thing. But with a little bit of extra stats, it will get way better. Okay, we finally managed to kill the Death Yaks, and now we can explore the rest of Layer 1. I think that because I was marked so consistently by Harold, I fought the entirety of the level already, and that's why I didn't find any monsters. All right, let us go do a spider. Okay, before I go in, I'm gonna put on the poison resistance instead of the ring of protection. I am perhaps approaching the point where it is probably not a terrible idea to get rid of the slaying in favor of the ring of protection. In fact, it was a coin toss between removing protection or slaying for the sake of having poison resistance. I have very little in the way of potions of curing and heal wounds, so I cannot really afford um, to get severely poisoned, especially multiple times here. Mm. Okay, killing this thing with this weapon is gonna be kind of annoying. A ghost moth. There was a ghost moth and a sun moth at the same time. Pretty rough. By the way, if you're wondering about the god choice, I went Maclef because I got a faded altar, and mm, I just decided to go for it. Like the options were Som, Okagawaru, and Maclef, and I was okay with either of those. Like if I got Som, I would have abandoned and then probably died. But with the other two, I could have played a real crawl character. And I got one of the other two, so there's that. I want to know how much my evasion will improve. Only two, so it's not impactful enough. Let's go back to poison resistance. Ring mail. It's not a good enough ring mail, unfortunately. It's plus 0 ring mail, perhaps with a spellcaster, but not with this kind of character. It's the bolt with the deep elves that have some pretty crazy weapons. I wonder, like that bolt is probably a reference to something, but I don't know what was the reference. Like, look at this guy. It's obviously supposed to be a guy that kind of like is a master archer and a blade master, but not really a blade master because it has a large attack. But I don't know. And it also has some pretty like uncharacteristic monsters like hellhounds and stuff. Still no digging. Yeah, we've only found 3 different kinds of ones in the entirety of the playthrough. I have this corridor right here. Hopefully the dire elephant doesn't destroy me. Okay. Got a lot of HP back from killing the dire elephant. Maclev really likes it when you kill monsters like that. Alrighty. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for stopping by. Speaking of some, you tried a Sun run today, it ended badly in Spider. How did it end? And did some play a part in it ending, just like out of curiosity? Because it can sometimes happen that some directly kills you. It does happen much more frequently in the early game, but it can also happen later in the game, unfortunately. It used to be that some was the kind of god where you either died in the early game or it made you super strong for the rest of the game. But it got nerfed to the point where it is only going to try to kill you pretty hard for the rest of the game. Not something that I am personally a fan of. Man, Arcblade can deal so much damage. I wish I could see how much damage the effect of Arcblade does, just like out of curiosity. You die from minus a scroll. Ooh, okay. Yeah, funny thing, I was just talking about Armator earlier today and how Armator has the old Blue Revision mutation. Like they just have it for the entirety of the game. And that got me thinking about how good we had it when Blue Revision was a thing that existed. Like, cannot believe that it got removed in favor of minus a scroll. I think that everyone dislikes minus a scroll. Because it's just so ridiculously painful when you do get affected by it. It's either it doesn't do anything or it is extremely bad. And minus a scroll was a calculated risk. Like you knew what was gonna happen, so you could plan ahead. It was still a pretty bad mutation. Even the old minus a scroll, which was Blue Division, was in my opinion the worst mutation in the game, but. Yeah, minus a scroll is even worse than that. The nerf version of minus a scroll is not that terrible. I've had it a couple of times and I've gotten hit a couple of times as well, and I haven't had it trigger like in the level 1, which is a pretty good thing. It's as if it didn't exist. Mm, In my opinion, a mutation shouldn't be as if it didn't exist or like so oppressive. There should be a nice in between where it is either good but not like the greatest thing ever, or bad but not game-ending levels of bad, like minus a scroll can be. Mm, but I don't know. I'm not the one balancing this game after all. Mm. Emperor Scorpion plus Torpor Snail. That's a pretty bad combination of monsters to fight against. Okay, I explode the Emperor Scorpion and the Torpor Snail in the same turn with one attack. That's pretty impressive. What do we get now? I could get more invocations, but I don't. I'm gonna get more armor. After all, I do have that +2 armor. I'm also gonna get more fighting. Same goes for that. Okay, pretty hurt on the Emperor Scorpion. It's fine. I can just wait it out. That Slayer, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope that you like Crawl because I play a lot of Crawl and other things here. Other things. So yeah, I hope that you all had a good weekend. We finally found Stone Arrow. I am going to learn that, and I'm gonna train a bit of Earth Magic for it. By a bit, I mean like 10. 10, 10, 10. Yes, I want to have that on the quiver. It's definitely an upgrade from Seeding Ray. I can also Amnesia that now. Never seen this game. Seriously, never seen the game? That's impressive. How did you find my stream? Out of curiosity. By the way, if you find yourself confused regarding the game, you can just ask me, and I will try to answer as thoroughly as I can regarding anything in the game. Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is a roguelike, like an actual roguelike, not what gets put on Steam and labeled as roguelike. It has everything, like turn-based, tile-based, permadeath, randomly generated, no meta progression. The only way to progress in this game is to get good at it, pretty much. By the way, these guys are about to kill me if I don't get rid of them first. This is an issue. Recommended tab, huh? Interesting. Anyway, Crawl is free, so you could just download it and play it right now. You don't even need to download it, you can play it online. Right now, I am playing online actually. Playing online has advantages. You get to preserve your characters for the future. I can pull my first win from the bot and just like show it to people. In fact, I do that every now and then whenever people ask for it, and it is a matter of seconds. Or it takes a matter of seconds, so it's a very convenient thing. I identified everything, so we're dropping identify. In considering how the other side of this looks absolutely disgusting, as it tends to be the case with Spider, the correct thing to do is to read a teleport and go downstairs. And now we wait until the teleport triggers, because like I'm not fighting through all of these. Very few characters would be able to do such a thing. What's the best way to replay games? Replaying games is complicated, but like you can get logs for your characters. Like for example, what I was talking about, I can show you the log of my first one character. Um, I think you might be able to download TTY recordings, but I don't really do that. Like I play all my crawl I play on stream, so whenever I want to watch a replay of mine or so, um, I just look at the crawl video on demand or like the video on demand for the stream, you know. Um, but I think there's a tool. I'm pretty sure there is a tool for rewatching your crawl games. You're gonna have to search on the Roguelikes Discord. I don't really know what the tool is called because it's not a tool that I personally use. You try downloading something and you think it was probably outdated because it obviously was syncing. Interesting. You might want to get some help with that. Because as I mentioned, I cannot really help you because I don't use those things. I do apologize. I can help you with playing the game. Oh, that's pretty bad. I have one cancellation. I'm gonna tank the contamination. Hopefully, oh, it didn't malmutate me. That's nice. Gonna go downstairs. Berserk Kulisivora. Killing it might be complicated since it has BAMP. Fortunately, we do manage to do that. Okay, Stone Arrow is at 21%. Looking forward to having it castable. Did I get shafted or so? Because it seems to be going pretty quickly, this foray into the spider nest. It can be extremely bad, but I guess this character is pretty decent at dealing with these guys. You know, apart from the whole confusion bites. Yeah, even though I'm fighting large amounts of monsters, I'm still able to kill them all. Oh, normally I would be so afraid of these, but fortunately I have Arc Blade. Having Arc Blade is such a great thing since it gives me the very important resistance to electricity by the point in the game where you're most likely to not have the resistance and to need it. I don't like this. I'm taking a lot of damage, not killing things fast enough. I'm gonna try to make it to the stairs. Okay, I did manage to escape the level, reset it. Whew. How did I take that much damage so quickly? That was a lot of damage. I'm gonna re-teleport because we're not surviving that. Escaping this level as well, resting to full HP, going back down. Yeah, the king crawl is not biting more than you can chew. That can lead to asphyxiation. Well, not in the literal sense, but you know, to follow the analogy. In NetHack, you would actually asphyxiate if you bite off more than you can chew. It never happened to me, but I did hear that about that happening to some people. It never happened to me because I was super spoiled whenever I played NetHack. Like I already knew everything. I built my characters in such a way to avoid all the nasty things that could happen. But in crawl, even if you know a lot, you can still like be faced with a very interesting challenge, especially when you're playing a mage. I generally like to play mages a lot more than melee characters. What's the RC option to see damage and healing numbers? It's not an option. It is Yes, exactly. It is a script that you have to add to your RC file. Um, you might like you want to copy the entirety of the thing at the bottom in my RC file. I would not recommend you to copy the entirety of it because as it is right now, there's some things in my RC file that I'm not a big fan of. Like for example, I have some scrolls of poison on the floor that I have yet to pick up. I have a couple of yeah, I could go pick that up actually. But yeah, my RC file for some reason doesn't let me pick up the dangerous items. I don't know how to make it so that it automatically picks up the dangerous items. Mm, okay, Asterion, we shall engage in glorious combat to see who is the better worshipper of Maklev. And I'm going to begin with a Greater Servant. Let's see what we get. A demon appears, and we get a Cacodemon. Really attack your Cacodemon. Well, that's annoying. I guess not. I mean, what else can I really do? That's pretty lame. Yeah, Arcblade doesn't really work with summons. I need this Cacodemon to start shooting or so. Oh, it summoned a green dead, and Astarion is not using a weapon that like will hurt the green dead like I am, so I'm just gonna read teleports. I feel like I kinda ruined this for myself by summoning a greater demon. I think it's gonna. I think it goes hostile if I anger it. Oh, this is a pretty bad spot to land on. One of the worst possible spots for me to land on. I'm gonna read another teleport, and I am back to safety. But that was a close call, despite what my HP might say. In this game, and depending on the character, your HP is not the main indicator for the level of safety that you're in. Because it can go down really, really quickly if you take just the wrong fight. And that place where I landed, which is where the rune is, I don't even know where I landed. Oh yeah, it's over here. Landed right around here. The rune of Sod, which is the reason why we were here, is in this little room beyond this gate. So yeah, it's a pretty bad spot to be in. Mm, Okay, I'm gonna wait for Asterion to wander over here. There he is. Um, I'm fine to take him on. I have all the resistances that I could possibly need. I'm gonna drink Might. I have Cirque. I could Cirque. Is dangerous? Is it dangerous? I mean, it is dangerous, but let's begin with a major destruction. Big damage on Asterion. And I'm gonna Berserk Asterion now for safety. Been barely dealing damage here because unfortunately Asterion is wearing plate, I think. Ringmail of fire resistance, and I'm not dealing damage? That's crazy. Unlucky rolls then. Especially while Berserk. Berserk makes you deal a little bit of extra damage that gets improved, like is more noticeable the more the faster your weapon is and the more attacks that you get in. By the way, talking about that, I should probably train a little bit of shields. I'll do it after, probably like 6 shields should do the trick. I'll do it after I get Stone Arrow castable. It's right now at 11%, but I want it to be at 1% because it is, after all, the kind of spell that you want to have on the quiver and spam pretty much every time. By the way, that was a pretty good roll of Irradiate from this guy, 53. Out of a possible 69, I think it was. Oh, anyway. Looking in that direction was a bit of a mistake, I think, since it could have landed me on the teleport trap, and then I could have gotten teleported into the position where I was before, where I had to teleport again. There was a small possibility of that happening. By the way, I'm walking towards there, but it is much more safe to take the fight in a controlled way and fight only 1 or 2 monsters at the same time, as opposed to just fighting the entirety of the Bolt's monsters at the same time and then just get destroyed by it. Um, But it's going well. It could be going way worse. I've gotten into very, very little situations where I feel like I might die. And I even found a scroll blinking, which is a way to, like, if you have a scroll blinking, it's like having an amulet of life saving, but you have to manually activate it. Like, if you have scroll blinking, it's unlikely that you'll die as long as you play properly. I do die frequently with scrolls of blinking in my inventory, but it's because they're either unidentified or I'm just like not feeling the character, so I'm not really putting in as much effort as I should to save it. I like this character. This character has a lot of things that I can that I need to win the game pretty much, like all the resistances and the damage. Has good gear. So yeah, it's going pretty well. It's a bit of a shame that I got Maklev with this Barachi, because Barachi has -1 invocations. It's like one of their worst aptitudes, invocations. And Maklev is a very powerful god when it comes to invocations. You might want to have 27 invocations with Maklev. Which is very difficult to get with Barachi. And since it's like one bad aptitude in a sea of really good aptitudes, I feel much more compelled to get other things trained up, and just to show you, everything +1, +2, 0 in Earth Magic, 0 spellcasting, 0 throwing. Everything is plus or 0 except for necromancy and invocations. And I don't know why necromancy. Invocations is because the flavor of Baraki is god hated or something, like rejected by the gods or something like that. Oof. Those guys can deal so much damage, even though, yeah, like, what's up with this? At least I have the resistance. If I didn't have the resistance, that would have dealt significantly more damage. Mm, okay. All these monsters are coming out of the vault, so when I go into the vault, I should find it almost entirely empty. There's a ghost moth coming for me. It's this invisible thing that we have right there. Okay, looking pretty good. Didn't deal that much damage. It's been damaging my stats a bit because that monster has a property with its melee attacks where like it can drain some of your stats, but they come back if you keep killing things. It's only an issue if they get too out of control. Spark wasps are difficult to kill with this character because I am using the arc blade. It might be a good idea to. How is that thing open? Huh, interesting. Anyway, it might be a good idea to pick up a side weapon for whenever I find monsters that are resistant to electricity. Pretty decent hat. I will equip it. I lose 1 armor class for the stats, 2 intelligence, 3 dexterity, I gain evasion. I want these globes. These globes are pretty okay. Infusion brand is not terrible at all. Boots of flying are effectively an upgrade over my boots. It's like finding a scroll of enchant armor. And a bunch of potions of ambrosia. And we have an Emperor Scorpion guarding the rune. It's not guaranteed that you'll be getting a monster here, but it does happen every now and then. So don't go ahead and open that unless you are at full resources. Otherwise, bad things will happen to you. I have not found an amulet. I mean, I have those, but they're not what I want. I don't want Faith and I don't want Guardian Spirit. I want Regen or Mana Regen, or I guess I would take Acrobat or Reflection, but they're not my main picks. It's not like I actually want them. It's just like a placeholder for the ones that I actually do want, which are Regen or Mana Regen. But I haven't encountered them, so yeah. Got to a rune before finding an amulet that I actually want to put on. Kinda crazy. Guardian Spirit really needs a buff. I think that Guardian Spirit and Mana Regen could be merged, and then it would be a significantly more interesting item. Mana Regen is pretty good already, but Guardian Spirit is definitely lacking. And my solution to that is just to give Mana Regen to Guardian Spirit, but it doesn't really work. Okay, let's see how this goes. We have picked up a rune, so now we can go do bolts. My alternative is doing shoals. Do I really want to do shoals? Not yet, not yet. Do I want to do bolts without willpower? Absolutely not. Yeah, that's just miserable. Mm. You hate getting Guardian Spirits on characters who use mana for anything. Yeah, pretty much. It's not good if you want to use your mana for other things because you can. My logic for not liking Guardian Spirit on like mages and stuff is because if you get hit, not only do you lose a lot of HP, but you're also gonna lose a lot of mana, which will in turn make you unable to kill the thing that hit you, causing you to have to run away just because you are using an item that's reducing your mana, which therefore makes it less likely that you'll be killing the thing. I don't like it. I don't like it. Perhaps like on characters that do not use mana, as you mentioned, Lord Yorick, it is pretty alluring. But this character, no, not on this character. Mm. Spirit as a runaway item, like as a defensive option, there is some characters like Spriggan and Cat that would probably be interested in exacerbating their HP bar, like increasing it a bit. But most characters, especially like decent characters that are not Spriggans or Cats, don't really have a lot of use for Guardian Spirit, in my opinion. Anyway, let's go do bolts with no willpower. Let's hope that I don't immediately find a wizard and get absolutely destroyed. Maybe change Guardian Spirit to you gain half of your mana as max HP, but not affecting your current mana. Oh, that would be a straight up a buff, but it would be a buff that I would be happy to be in the receiving end of. But it would be straight up a buff, and you know how it is with buffs; they are rare in the development of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Wow, okay, three different bands of monsters at the same time. We are going to be drinking attraction for these guys because I want to pull the Sentinel Warriors towards me. Perhaps no. You know what I'm going to be doing? I'm gonna be going to D3 because I remember that I have this Ghost Bolt on D3. I have a Ghost Bolt on D3 and a Ghost Bolt on D4, and I can take them on like very easily now. Very dangerous when I first encountered them, of course, but now I can actually deal with them. Hey, look at that! This is a Demigod Reaver. I think that having good aptitudes is significantly more important than having good stats when it comes to Reaver. So that's why I haven't even considered playing Demigod Reaver. And this first experiment of Barachi Reaver has been going pretty well. I mean, I did get lucky and survive a couple of times in the early game. But it's going pretty well. Is there anything else that I have yet to kill? No. Okay, let's go to bolts now. Hopefully, yep. I picked up that scroll of poison. So I could read it and then drink attraction and pull a bunch of guys towards me. That's extremely bad. I'm gonna read a teleport here. I don't see myself surviving this one if I don't teleport. As a Barachi, I cannot run away from any of these guys. I need to rely on items to escape. And in this case, I did get put in a really good spot after the teleport. It allowed me to regen to full HP. Elephants on the entrance. Yeah, like elephants on the entrance is extremely bad because the elephant trample is barely relevant. The only cases where it really is relevant is when you want to go upstairs or downstairs to stare down some monsters, and they push you away from the stairs, preventing you from doing such a thing. We're getting pretty close to the 10, or to the ability to cast a stone arrow. I am very excited. Training for stone arrow so late into the game, just because it's a pretty good way to use your mana. Gives you a pretty good offensive action while you wait for monsters to get to you, instead of waiting, or instead of running for towards the monsters, or waiting for the monsters to just get close. You just stone arrow them until they get next to you, and then you tap them. Ooh, Ring of Intelligence. Let's see how this goes. I mean, stone arrow is pretty castable, full power. I probably don't need the Ring of Intelligence for full power. Let's go back to the Ring of Protection. I was running around with Poison Resistance, but it's not gonna be that much of a necessity here, Poison Resistance. What I would love to have is Willpower, but there's no such thing. That's a Center Warrior Band. This is bad situation. Bad situation indeed. I wonder how we are gonna be taking this on. So, not only do I have to survive these guys, I also have to survive the Center Warrior Band that is coming after me, and I'm also marked. So, whenever you're marked, every monster in the level that's awoken will be walking towards you. I am going to read another teleport, and I will hope that I teleport before I explode here. Maclef healing is helping, however. I did notice the 10 HP heal. But yeah, I'm not killing things fast enough. Okay. I'm gonna drink... I only have 2 might still? That's crazy. I wanted to drink might, but I feel a bit intimidated when it comes to doing that, because I only have 2. A demon appears. Okay, Mr. Green Death, do your thing. Oh, I really hate Dark Blades. Prevents me from attacking. Like, if... the static discharge effect from Arc Blade should not be able to affect allies. It absolutely sucks that it does that. Okay, I think that I have to run away. I'm gonna haste. I have 6 haste after all. You can haste and run for the stairs. I don't think I'm powerful enough to do bolts just yet, but then again, my alternative is shoals, and I also don't think I'm powerful enough to do shoals. It must be easier than bolts, right? At least that bolts, because we got some pretty nasty monsters. It would be nice to find Ignite Poison, because we have Noxious Bog and we have Poisonous Vapors, but I'm lacking Ignite Poison. As I said earlier, let's train a little bit of shields to mitigate the effect of the buckler on my attacks. It's a buckler, so it is almost free by default, but it still has a little bit of an effect, and I can definitely remove, well, not remove it, but reduce it with a little bit of training. I saw Mliaglotl there. We don't want to fight Mliaglotl in the open. We want to wait for Mliaglotl to be closer, just like this. Do you have resistance to electricity? Because, yeah. Yes, you do. So killing this is gonna be complicated with my current weapon. I need to get a weapon replacement. And there's a couple of weapon replacements that I can pick up that I have access to. I still don't have enough money to buy the Sword of Sunguldrok, but I definitely want to buy that. How much would I train for a buckler? I'm gonna train to 6. Yeah, like there's no magic numbers anymore. Just train until you are not noticing the penalties, or until you can mitigate the penalties to make whatever you want to make usable. When it comes to spellcasting, it's not that much of an issue. I feel like it is significantly more painful for melee, unfortunately, which is what I'm currently doing. Alright, this guy has silver jabs, and I don't have mutations, so it's fine. Yeah, the old magic number for Buckler used to be 4. So with 4 skill, you removed all penalties that Bucklers had, but that got changed a couple of versions ago. It's a change that I am absolutely not a fan of, but it is. No, there's nothing that I can really do about it other than just continue playing. Mm. You notice shields on your caster, yeah. If you notice shields on your caster, you can train the magic skills more. If you want to remove all the penalty from any shield, you need 27. Strength and dexterity, well, strength specifically helps to mitigate the penalties from shields alongside training it. As you can see, the encumbrance rating for the buckler is 5. So with 7 or 8 strength, you shouldn't really notice a buckler, or with like with big spellcasting aptitudes. Easy kite shield on caster as a formicid. What? Well, yeah, I guess it's fine. Funny thing that you mentioned Formicid, however, since I think Formicid is in a pretty bad spot since those changes. Formicid doesn't even get dexterity from. Ouch. Okay, don't do that. Formicid doesn't even get dexterity from leveling up, so they're in a pretty rough spot since shields only scale with dexterity. Mm. Yeah, I consider that to be a very big nerf to Formicid. Okay. Fortunately, I remember that I have Major Destruction, and I just Major Destruction Donald to death. I have barely used any Maclef Piety, so I don't feel bad about just spamming Major Destruction to kill specific uniques whenever I do encounter them. Uniques are supposed to be rough fights, so it is perfectly understandable to use some limited resources to be able to deal with them. Man, doing this with no willpower is painful. It's not the end of the world because I'm a Barachi, and not only am I a Barachi, but I'm also a flying Barachi, so I don't really have any penalties for being on top of water or anything. But it is still aggravating to get mesmerized pretty much every time I see a siren, just because I have 0 willpower. 0 sources of it, because I do have the willpower per level up. Let's see how much these guys get. They get 3 willpower per level up. That's a shame. Yep. 4 would have been nice. With 3, you kind of need 2 sources of willpower to be on the safe side of things. You're a Formicid main, not a successful one. I like Formicid. From the complex species, they are the one that I like the most, or one of the ones that I like the most, since they have pretty good aptitudes. They're pretty powerful, but they're pretty difficult. They're punishing since you don't really get access to almost all of the escape options that exist in the game. You don't have blink, you don't have haste, you don't have teleport, you don't even have swiftness. So it can be pretty difficult to play a Formicid. Good with Lightning Spire and Golem, I suppose. Whenever it comes to summons, yeah, they're not really something that I tend to engage in quite frequently. The only summon that I do use is Spellforce Servitor. That one I like a lot. Okay, I don't have poison resistance. Hopefully the sea snake won't severely poison me. Alright. Could have been way worse. I don't want to put poison resistance on. I would rather just run around with my extra armor class. For Spider, it's a bit more reasonable to wear poison resistance instead of extra armor class, since after all, pretty much everyone in Spider has poison attacks. By the way, I have to say that I consider myself to be lucky because I didn't find Arachne in Spider. My character is on the weaker side of things. Or at least it feels like that sometimes. Especially since I got to the mid game. I guess that's just what the mid game will do, right? Mid game will turn your strong early game characters into weak characters, and it will kill the weak early game characters. Mm, okay, hopefully I can kill this guy. Because I don't have the hop, so I won't really be able to run away from it. There we go. Yeah, Spellforce Servitor is the one summon that I do use. I also like Haunt, but I never train Necromancy and I never train Summonings, so I pretty much never use it, other than with Jin. With Jin I do use Haunt whenever I get it, and I consider it to be very, very strong. Anyway, having Stun Arrow on the quiver is pretty nice. I just wish that I could cast it better than 3% with 10 in each of the relevant skills. It feels kind of wrong that it is like that. Um, you have 14 summoning because you're using Hydras because you don't have a better use now for spell points. Yeah, Hydras are nice. I would equate Hydras to Orb of Destruction. Like they're very similar spells. I don't know if you've already noticed, but it's short-lived and it deals nuclear amounts of damage, and it also can spectacularly backfire by not doing anything and crashing against the wall. So yeah, well, in the case of Hydra, they backfire by just getting instantly killed because they're not particularly tanky. Mm. But they certainly have a lot of damage to dish out. Mm. Okay, that's kind of annoying. I don't want to fight that. Barachi jump away. I'm in Shoals 4. I would like to be able to rest to full HP. And to specifically to rest the minus hop away. That's an important thing to do. Okay, we managed to do that. We killed the snapping turtle with stone arrow. Stone arrow is so good, and I suspected, I have 100% spell power on it. It's a shame that stone arrow checks evasion. If it didn't, it would be so good for killing spark wasps, for example. Because those guys resist electricity, and by extension, it's pretty painful to kill them with tabbing from the arc blade. Most other monsters do die from arc blade pretty well, pretty quickly. So it's nice to use as a main weapon, is what I'm trying to say. Shoals Force has loot. It pretty much always has loot, so I'm looking forward to oh no, yeah, like I should have seen that coming. I'm also barbed. That's inconvenient. Does cancellation get rid of the barbs? No, it doesn't. Nothing gets rid of the barbs other than waiting, I suppose. I don't think curing gets rid of the barbs. Potion and confusion is poison and confusion is the things that curing gets rid of. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this is pretty awful. I assume that I cannot jump while in big form. Wonder if I should just make a run for it. Like, actually just run to the stairs. Normally pig forms, like pig form is bad, but you can run to the stairs because pig form is fast. Your movement speed is very quick, but right now because of the barb spikes, I'm gonna lose a ton of HP and I don't wanna just like be shot down by the manticore before I make it to the stairs. I think it has full screen range. Oh no, it has only range 5 still. There's also a javelineer ready to javelin me. Yep. Okay, that's extremely bad. Can I even fear you? It's painful. Can I drink 3? I bet I can't. I mean, if I could drink 3, that would be great, but I don't think I can. I'm gonna read Blinking to the Stars. Yep, painful. No summoning. Summoning there would have killed me. That was not the kind of situation to hold my ground. It was the kind of situation to run away. Kirky is being extremely painful to deal with just because I unfortunately do not have willpower. One ring of willpower is what's separating this character for greatness, and the single most likely thing to kill me that is still like unaccounted for. But there's really nothing that I can do. Like, I guess I can equip the chainmail of willpower, but like it's losing 5 intelligence, 3 dexterity, and regen, and 2 armor class only for willpower. Is it worth that much? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Oh, I got marked. It's pretty bad. We don't want to go down those stairs. All the monsters that saw me get marked are gonna be camping those stairs. Mm. What is blink? Scrolls are blinking. You don't know what's. Oh, yeah. Your Formicid main. There's no other plan but to hold your ground. Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Sorry to hear that you're a Formicid main. I hope things get better. But at least it could be worse. You could be a cat main or a human fire elementalist of Sif Muna main. Yeah. At least Formicid is very strong. Painful, but strong. Mm. Human Fire Elementalist of Sif Muna is awfully specific. Yeah, that's Railbird's combo. That's all. That's the only thing that Railbird plays. I think Railbirds only has one game on a server, like online, that is not a Human Fire Elementalist, and it was an accidental game that Railbird started and immediately quit on turn 1. So that's pretty much the only thing that Railbird does on Crawl. Human Fire Elementalist of Sif Muna. Deep Elf Conjurer, that's a great combo. I'm gonna play a Deep Elf Conjurer. Like, next time, you gotta remind me, and I will play a Deep Elf Conjurer for you. I promise. Fun to play, you don't really play to win, just to get fun builds. I see. No, my objective when I start Crawl is trying to win Crawl. That's why I am sometimes frustrated with the large amount of randomness that the game has. It sometimes feels like it is bits out of my control, the whole winning thing, and I am at the mercy of the floor god when it comes to giving me what I need to win. I am kind of feeling it with this character, because even though this is a pretty good character, it is lacking one very important thing, which is willpower. I've said repeatedly that the most important resistance that exists in this game is willpower. It's one of the most notorious things that I say on stream every time. So not having it is extremely painful. Okay, get me out of here. Gotta regen my HP and mana, and then deal with this guy. What is this? Mana regen! When did I get that? Give me that. Okay, now we have mana regen. It is a great amulet to have for the purposes of spamming the quiver. So now I will be able to spam Stone Arrow, and the mana will come back in the blink of an eye. Which, yeah, it's not really that much of a buff, but it makes me waste less time, which is good. Did I kill? No, the Aquamancer blinked away. Okay, I was expecting it to be literally in the opposite side of the screen, but fortunately it is still within range of Stone Arrow. Who needs Iron Shot when I have Stone Arrow, right? All of the guys that were in the houses are wandering out of the houses because they woke up because I hit an alarm trap earlier. So this is kind of a nasty situation. It is definitely looking like a fight that I won't be able to win. Scroll of Poison is okay here, but I don't have poison resistance. I don't have it equipped. I'm gonna put on my ring of poison resistance instead of the ring of slaying, since I won't really be fighting. There's all these clouds right here, so they kinda ruin the scroll of poison. Okay. This seems nice. Scroll of poison. Run away. If these guys chase me into the poison, they're gonna die. If they don't chase me into the poison, then they don't chase me into the poison, and that's a good thing. But yeah, that Aquamancer is dead. It just got poisoned way too much. Oh wait, it's not poisoned at all. Huh, I must have had a potion of curing, that's a shame. Could have used that myself. Alrighty, that went well. Let's go back to the Ring of Slaying. Poison and Attraction is a pretty good combo. Ever played Kochmind? I played Kochmind bit in April, I think, and I enjoyed like the first 2 days, and that has something to do with the fact that I got a lot of money from the Kochmind community, for which I am grateful. In fact, every now and then, whenever I search for people to raid, I look for Kochmind, even if I didn't really end up liking Kochmind, just to somewhat pay it off. But I haven't been able to raid anyone from the Kochmind community. It seems that no one plays Kochmind by the time I'm done streaming. Mm. But yeah, like I can tell you straight away that I didn't like it. It is very much not a game for me. Mm, perhaps I shouldn't be standing on that chaos. Oof, perhaps I shouldn't be standing in front of Kirky. Scroll summoning. This time it does sound like a nice thing to have. I'm not gonna use 2 of them though. Book Rebalance Part 1. I'm interested in that. Start moving books back towards an average of 3 spells per book. Book of Vapors got Meth, that's nice. Trismegistus Codex lost Meth, that's, see, whatever. It still has Ignite Poison, which is the sole spell that I care about from that book. Yeah, Kochmind is something else. I in fact would not recommend Kochmind. I didn't enjoy it, and if you enjoy games in the same way or a similar way as I do, then you're probably not gonna like it either. But I'm also a big advocate for people to try things on their own and like make their own decisions. Don't let the person on the internet tell you what you can or can't do, kind of thing. So do tell me what you end up feeling regarding Kochmind, because I'm kind of curious. What was my main gripe with it? The inventory juggling. The game is literally inventory juggling, and it is the one roguelike that doesn't have a good inventory. Like, it blew my mind, the fact that, like, Rogue and NetHack and all these games have like a robust inventory system. Like, how difficult is it to make something like this? And Kochmind's is inventory. Like, the game is literally based around inventory, because your inventory is your HP and it gets damaged and it gets destroyed and you have to replace it and you have to change it mid combat depending on the situation. But the inventory interface is absolute garbage. That was the main thing. Every time that I played Kochmind, I ran into that. So it's like completely impossible to avoid, and it is a big enough issue, and you encounter it so repetitively, so constantly, that it is not palatable for me. Not to mention that I also didn't like the fact that the game was like about running away from things instead of about fighting things. I like games more like Crawl and Rift Wizard, where like I am presented with a fight, a challenge. You could even go as far as to call it a puzzle, and then I have the tools to resolve said puzzle. Depending on how I decide to approach it, there may be many, many solutions to the same issue. But yeah, Kochmind is just like, if you fight, then the fight will spiral out of control and you will continue to get more and more powerful enemies thrown at you until the point where you're literally going to die if you don't leave the level. The game is just like that, and that also I didn't like. I don't like the stealthy aspect of Kochmind. Mm. Also, no auto travel. No auto travel, no auto explore is annoying. Um, the interface is built around mouse usage, I feel, and it felt clunky and cumbersome. So, like, there were many issues that I had with Cogmind personally. Like, it got to the point where I just wasn't enjoying it anymore, and by extension, I stopped playing it. I think I played like 8 streams of Kochmind or so, but it was more than enough time for me to decide that I didn't like it. I think I lost a viewer because of that. Like a generous viewer recommended me the game, like gifted me the game, and then I played it, and I just like had such a bad time with the game that I think the dude just like unfollowed. Um, so yeah, but it's just how it is. Like if I don't like something, I'm not gonna force myself to play it and to smile and say, "Oh yeah, this is great. I am enjoying my time." At the first couple of days, I did genuinely enjoy the experience, but the more I played it, the more evident it was that it was not something for me because of the things that I've already described. So yeah, that was my issue with Kochmind. Um, just less character building. I guess you do have to rely on whatever you find on the floor. Talking about things that you find on the floor, we just got these gloves of dexterity, which might be more appealing to me than the gloves of infusion. They reduce my damage, they increase my shield and evasion, so not terrible. No point in playing something you don't like. Exactly. Like, my core philosophy is that if you're playing a game, is for you to get something positive out of it, like enjoyment or like to exercise your mind and your creativity to see how you're gonna solve X or Y situation. It's not to suffer through the game, right? And if you're not really like, if the negative overwhelms the positive, then you probably shouldn't be playing the game, right? Um, Sometimes I have that happen with Crawl, and when that happens, I tend to stream other things the day after because I need to just give Crawl a break and then come back when I actually want to play Crawl. I think that's definitely the way to go. Um, but yeah, with Cogmind, I think that the entirety of the experience was tarnished by those things that I've already mentioned. You love attacks of opportunity? Yeah, exactly that. Not necessarily attacks of opportunity, but it's just like the whole early game being so ridiculous, and then you survive the early game, and then you get to the mid game, and the mid game is also ridiculous, and then you get to bolts, and bolts is also ridiculous. It's just like a constant stream of ridiculousness if you just don't get lucky enough to get good items. Or more like if you get unlucky enough to not get good items. Because I think that the characters that get really, really unlucky and like actually don't have anything good going for them are very few and very far between. They do happen, but they are less common than what you might believe. You don't mind attacks of opportunity at all, but you see a lot of people disliking it. It's interesting that as a Formicid a player, you don't like them or you don't mind them because it's like a further nerf on Formicid. You already cannot have serious issues escaping, and a mechanic that adds more to the possibility or to the likelihood that you'll encounter a situation where you have to escape is not a mechanic that you dislike. That's an interesting thing. Mm. Why do you not dislike it? I'm interested. Mm. Because that's really like a point of view that no one has presented on the screen on the stream. Pretty much everyone is like, yeah, I hate attacks of opportunity and stuff, and it might be a little bit of a reflection of my own opinion regarding attacks of opportunity because sometimes I do get pretty frustrated with them. Like being next to something in the early game and knowing that you cannot beat it and you cannot run away from it is painful. It just like is demoralizing. That's how I could put it. It feels like there's literally nothing that you can do and that you're just gonna die, even though you are at full HP. Um, I would be okay with attacks of opportunity if the game didn't have so many early game monsters that were like so messed up, like wights and skeletal warriors and ogres. Well, ogres and two-headed ogres are okay because you just have to tank 2 hits from them and then you can run away because that's how they work now. Kind of spoilery, but that's how they work now. And like monsters with heavy armor, orc warriors, terrains, many uniques, etc., etc. You know, those ones are the monsters where I have issues with when it comes to attacks of opportunity. The more the game progresses, the least likely attacks of opportunity will be a serious issue for the player. But it's still there's still a good chance of them being an issue. I wonder if juggernauts and stuff can get attacks of opportunity on you. If so, that would be interesting. Like imagine getting attack of opportunity by a juggernaut and then normally attacked by a juggernaut and then dying from full HP. I wonder if that has happened to anyone. Um, you guess just because they got rid of the pillar dancing and you find the attacks of opportunity does present a challenge when you can just backtrack half them up, but half rather got to bunker up and make a kill hole. I mean, if it's a challenge, it's okay, right? Like, but my issue with attacks of opportunity is that it doesn't feel like a challenge. It just feels like you're doomed every now and then. Not always, of course. In fact, very infrequently. But whenever you feel like you're doomed, thanks to attacks of opportunity, you know. As I already mentioned, it's against specific monsters, not all of them. Like you can run away from goblins or a jackal on D1, and it's most likely not gonna ruin your character to get in a couple of attacks of opportunity from those monsters. But there's some monsters that are too much with attacks of opportunity, especially for melee characters. Mages don't have that much of an issue regarding that because they kill things from afar and they don't want to have things in melee by default. And even if things get to melee, they have things like blink and swiftness that allow them to disengage without really wasting consumables left and right like melee characters have to do. Even my Barachi, which is slow, doesn't have as many issues with attacks of opportunity because I don't want to walk away already, and I have the jump, so I can just hop away and stone arrow things. But yeah, like this kind of thing is felt most severely whenever you're playing something. Like, try something like a human fighter, for example. I think a human fighter is a pretty bad combo because it's not a mage and it is not a species that is inherently great at melee. It's certainly winnable, but it is by no means easy. And I feel like it's a kind of situation where, like, it's the kind of species that tends to get into that situation a lot. Um, anyway, what do we want to train here? Perhaps more invocations. Gonna train more invocations, yeah, at least to 15. But that's where I'm gonna leave it for the rest of the game. I think 15 invocations should be good enough. Let's get out of here. Did I get shafted? Because I also feel... Oh no, I didn't get shafted. No, I did get shafted. I did get shafted in Shoals 2. I'm gonna skip that. Who needs to do Shoals 2? Gonna go back for that ring because I am interested in what that ring is. It's a ring of dexterity. It's a pretty good ring for me. Perhaps better than the ring of protection. It does give me quite a lot of extra evasion, and it will also give me big damage with Arc Blade, which I like. I like both of those things, so I'm gonna stick around with it for a bit. I am sure that I will eventually get rid of it in favor of something else, but for now, I'll use it. And unfortunately, I am done with Shoals 2. I'm not powerful enough to do bolts yet, or to do slime. Well, I guess I'm also not powerful enough to do bolts, but let's see how this goes. With no willpower sources, I think that I just have to equip the chainmail of willpower already. It's a shame. All these beautiful willpower items, but none of them fit my character. I very briefly considered using the halberd, like abandoning all the dexterity stuff and going for the halberd just because 2 pips of willpower. But I was unable to do it. Anyway, I guess we're losing 3 dexterity, 5 intelligence, and 2 armor class for willpower because I'm not really very happy to go here without willpower. Oh, I immediately got pushed away from the stairs. Yeah, this is annoying. I am gonna try to skip the level. It's not gonna work. I won't be able to get to the stairs and I'm gonna be pushed away from the stairs. Fear, perhaps? Poison? Immolation? Major destruction to kill these guys? Big damage. Well, at least decent damage, I suppose. Not big damage. Oh man, this is going terribly. Let's go ahead and read Fear. Okay, there we go. Feared everyone except for this one centaur warrior. I think we are kind of okay. Perhaps I should be hasted, because I think I might have to run away. Yeah, I don't want to get hit by a large slime creature at such low HP, let alone two. And they're about to merge into something big, that's why I hasted. Being surrounded by them is not the end of the world. It's certainly better than having one large slime creature. I don't think I die by being surrounded by the small ones, but the one large could kill me. I'm not going up those stairs. Yeah, that's a bit unreasonable. Preserver and 4 deep trolls. This is so stressful to watch. Seriously, what makes you think that it is stressful? I mean, it seems stressful because it is not the most powerful character in the world. When I have strong characters, it's a pleasure to play with strong characters, and then I get bored of them and I win them, and then I play and hope to get another strong character. But having characters like this one every now and then is not the end of the world. You think the Tengu Hunter was more stressful? Was it a Tengu Hunter? It was not a Tengu Hunter, was it? It was a Tengu something. But I did play a Tengu recently and I didn't really enjoy my time with it. Yeah, that one was rather painful. I think it was in no small measure because I didn't train things that I probably should have trained with that character, like Firestorm. I perhaps should have rushed something like Firestorm or Chain Lightning, and I chose not to do it. And by extension, I got the experience that I got with that Tengu. Perhaps I didn't give it that much of a try because of that. That whole run was pain. I agree. Then again, I also just think that it was because of my own mistakes when it came to building the character. Okay, this war gargoyle will hurt me. Yes, it will. It will not hesitate to hurt me. So I better fear these guys. The war gargoyle is also immune to electricity, I'm pretty sure. Resistant to electricity. So killing this is gonna be rather painful. As you can see, I'm not dealing as much damage as I would like to. Perhaps Stone Arrow will get the job done, and it does. I cannot go upstairs, by the way. Going upstairs into this sealed passage, it's pretty bad because there's the Darlefans waiting for me on the other side. So I have to win this or teleport away. I cannot go upstairs. And not that I could anyway, since I got blocked from going upstairs by the Bald Warden anyway. You really don't enjoy playing Tengu. Only worse characters are human halfling. Good riddance. You didn't like halfling. I personally didn't have that many issues with halfling. I didn't play that many halfling runs in my crawl time. But I do have at least 3 or 4 wins with halfling. And every time I thought that they were pretty okay. I mean, low HP, sure, but they ended with pretty sick defenses. I never played them as spellcasters, I have to say that. That's fine, we can deal with this guy. There we go. So yeah, it could be way worse. This character hasn't really been that bad. I've had significantly worse characters. You know, this character has Good damage output when it comes to monsters that don't resist electricity. Good fire resistance, good poison resistance, resistance to electricity, and we are using 1 pip of willpower now, but yeah, that's a bit of a loss for my character because I lost the regen. The regen and the stats were rather precious. And it is a shame that I had to lose them just to make sure that I was not gonna get banished left and right. But that's just how it is. Have Link force you into Slink Hunter build and you find ranged weapons characters to be the most boring to play. Even the newly reworked ranged? Because maybe that's more to your liking. I personally like the old range better because it felt like a consumable more than as a weapon, as a resource that you have to manage in the early game, kind of thing. I'm fighting a lot of wizards at the same time, like 3 of them. Okay, you know what? I should jump away from these guys. Pretty bad jump. I need a switch weapon. I really do need a switch weapon. Like, it's super noticeable whenever I'm hitting something with resistance to electricity because it doesn't die. Like, straight up, it takes forever to kill because the big part of the weapon that I'm using is the static discharge effect. That deals a ton of damage to everything, but electricity monsters don't particularly care about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to picking up another sword. I wish you could search for sword and you could get long blades. Instead of that, you only get swords. The one that I'm thinking of is the Sword of Son Guldrok. It's probably one of the best swords that I've gotten access to. It's kind of pricey. Yeah, it's kind of pricey at 2,300 gold. I'm not quite there yet. I also have this scimitar. Have a +7 scimitar of venom sitting on D12. That's what I should go ahead and grab. But I cannot get out because the only way for me to get out is through the stairs that I excluded because I don't want to deal with the elephants. Oh, hold on. This guy's convoking. Please don't convoke, thank you. Okay. I don't like the frost hearts. The frost hearts are dealing way too much damage. Those guys are so strong. You take so much damage from frost hearts. Like, the monsters are built in such a way that they intentionally are really, really bad to encounter. Bolts has like open spaces and corridors, and I don't tend to find a lot of frost hearts in the open parts of the bolts. It's always in the corridors. And then because my character has like very slow movement speed, even without getting frozen, it's very difficult to disengage, and I take a lot of damage. And taking damage even once from a Frostheart just means that you will be taking more and more damage because you move even more slowly whenever they hit you. Pretty nasty monster to be in the receiving end of, I have to say that. When did they change random altars? In 0.30. I don't think it's so lame because here's what happens, and here's my my theory as for why they got changed into what they currently are. People like me didn't bother with fatal altars because there's some gods that straight up don't function with certain starts. Like, let's say that you got a mage and you used a fatal altar because you thought fatal altars were fun and cool, and you got Trog. That's a pretty good way to make you stop thinking fatal altars are cool and fun because they ruin your character. The current iteration of Fatal Altar still retains an element of randomness, but tells you, hey, this won't screw you over. You are free to gamble with this because you know that the floor, the worst possible things that you could get from the gamble won't destroy your character. In fact, funny thing that you mention it because this character got Maklev off a Fatal Altar, and I specifically checked the Fatal Altar because it is how it is now. In previous versions of the game, I wouldn't have bothered to even check the Fatal Altar, or like to try with the Fatal Altar, because I knew, oh, I'm gonna get Trog, I'm gonna get Sif Muna, I'm gonna get a god that I don't care about, and I'm not gonna have that much fun with this character. But the three options that I got were acceptable enough. I got Maklev, I got Okawaru, and I got some. So if I was to get some, I would abandon and then maybe die, but it's fine. But if I got Maklev or Okawaru, I would also be okay with playing the game with those. And I did get Maklev, as you can see here. Scroll of Poison, Potion of Attraction, the good old Poison Attraction combo. Beautiful. Beautiful. Should I train Longblades to 16? Perhaps not yet. Perhaps if I do end up buying the Sword of Son Guldrok, which is not a guarantee. Not yet. I wish I wasn't wearing chainmail too. There's quite a lot that this character could find to make it better. Like a scale mail or ring mail would be nice. Quicksilver scales would also be pretty okay, giving more armor class than the chainmail. Base armor class at the very least. I guess I'm gonna train more fighting. Gonna use Major Destruction here. It doesn't get you explosions now, so you don't have to be afraid of killing yourself with Major Destruction anymore. It's a pretty good thing. I'm taking a lot of damage from these guys. Yes, I took a lot of damage here. I'm gonna put on my Ring of Poison Resistance instead of the Ring of Slaying. Okay, I gained a little bit of HP from Maklev here. That was very, very convenient. Now that I have my Ring of Poison Resistance on, I can jump into the poison to make those guys run through the poison, or like pull them through the poison to be more precise. Looking pretty good. Every kill is giving me back like 10 HP, so it's quite convenient. Gonna go for Major Destruction again. I see a Berserker. No, it's a Hell Knight with a Demon Trident. Acid. 18 damage, unfortunate. Everyone is heavily wounded. There's one that's almost dead. I'm gonna try to kill this one. Okay, I got back a little bit of HP. Only a teeny tiny bit. I think that I dealt myself non-trivial amount of damage with the Arc Blade here, and that's why I didn't really recover that much HP. Okay, there we go. Maklev heals, coming in clutch. Phew, okay. You know what? Like, this character is not really that weak. It's just kind of fragile, but when it gets going, it really gets going. It's like super obvious. By the way, that's a nasty bolt. I'll finish that at some point later on, but not now. Let's go upstairs and try to do bolt one. I also want to escape bolts as a whole because I have to pick up something, you know? I have to pick up the side weapon for whenever I encounter monsters that are resistant to electricity. I'm taking so much damage. I have no idea why I have 21 armor class with 15 armor. That just straight up feels wrong. I feel like I'm doing something terribly wrong here, because I feel like I should have way more armor class on that, but it's fine. I guess I could give myself 2 more if I switch to the Globes of Infusion instead of the Globes of Dexterity. I think I have to do this. I could also enchant the globes that I just dropped, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to delay that as much as possible. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I mean, you may think that this is a horrible character and that this is awful, but I can tell you for sure that I've had worse characters. I've had much more painful characters. That Tengu that I played the other day is a pretty good example. Characters like these are exhausting. They're not terrible. This is perfectly winnable, but it's just that the likelihood that I get into a bad position with this character is much higher than it would be if I was playing, I don't know, a depot of spellcaster that just blows things up in 2 turns. There's less margin, but like there's like less likelihood of things going bad with a character like that. Um, Let's try to find a sword. Scimitar of Venom. I think we're already at the point where it may not be a terrible thing to rebrand that. I have 3 brand weapons, and I'm not really gonna use them in anything else, so Vorpal Scimitar. Let's go for one more. Let's see if we can get Vamp or so. Oh, come on. Not keeping Electrocution. Oh, okay, I guess we're keeping Vorpal. Anyway, I can use the Arc Blade against the things that are resistant to electricity, and I can use the other one for, you know, did I say use the Arc Blade for things that are resistant to electricity? Because I didn't mean that. I meant use the Arc Blade for things that are weak to electricity, that are not resistant, and then use the other one for the things that are actually resistant to electricity. Okay. Gonna close the door. I can kill these guys without really that much of an issue. When they queue up, I can just do that, and that also corroded them. Major Destruction is so strong. Have any of you tried Maklev after Major Destruction got buffed? Because I think it legit may be super strong right now, like overpowered. If you have never played Maklev, give it a try with a species that has good invocations like Healorc. In fact, Healorc might be perfect because it has a lot of melee damage. Like, it's a pretty competent melee species that can use Maklev as a way to heal a bit. But then it also has really, really good invocations, so it can take advantage of Maklev's very powerful major destruction, as I've already mentioned. This character should have been a Healorc. But anyway, I am anticipating this character to end in a win, but I'm also not anticipating this character to end in a win today. I think the most that we can hope for is that I don't die today and then I come back tomorrow and don't kill the character in like the first 10 minutes or so of the stream tomorrow. And then I would win this character. And then I would start an Armator. A bit interested in Armator. It's a shame that I wasn't able to play it today, but what can I say? This Barachi is going well enough that I have not died. By extension, I cannot really start a new character unless I wanted to play in a different server. My training of fighting also served quite the purpose of like helping me survive. I was running into situations where I was rather low on HP very quickly at the beginning of a fight, but now that I have 170 HP, that kind of thing doesn't really happen that frequently. I attribute that partially to Barachi's great aptitudes. Barachi is just like a really good species. It has an unfortunate downside that makes it difficult and dangerous to play, but once it gets going, it really gets going, as you can see from this character. Okay, let's try this Scimitar. not bad. I like the fact that it gives me extra armor class, because one of the most infamous monsters that is like highly resistant to electricity would be the War Gargoyle. So having resistance or like yeah, having protection from what the War Gargoyle does is a very nice thing. Hmm. Mighty Crystal Guardian, huh? But it cannot multi-sap me. I can just sit there and stun arrow it to death. I have 10 Earth Magic, but because I'm wearing such heavy armor, I cannot really use LRD. And I have LRD already, like it's right there, 34% chance to miscast. But yeah, I need better armor. But I mean like real armor, not a rope. I have ropes of willpower on the floor, and I'm not willing to go to them. Demonologist, kind of spooky. That reminds me that I don't have enough willpower to be compelled to go do elf. I need a second source. But if I happen to be able to find a second source of willpower, like a ring or so, I would be delighted to go do elf. It may be difficult, especially dealing with dancing weapons and stuff. But I would like to be able to do elf. Agent Coil, thank you for the follow. I like your game. Thank you for making it, and I am happy to see that it is making a comeback. I hope it goes well because I really enjoy playing it. Taking advantage of the fact that I assume you're still here, I would like to tell you that the game that you made has brought me, no joke, like some of the greatest moments of satisfaction that I've ever experienced playing a card game. So yeah, like I feel like it's a game where if you're good, you can win against overwhelming odds. Um, and I like that a lot. I really like that a lot. I find that very motivational when it comes to playing a card game. Feeling that skill is actually impactful. So yeah, there's that. Right now I'm playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, but I will make it a point to play Crawl, or not to play Crawl, to play um, Infinity Wars. Sorry for that. At least once every week. Yep. I've been doing that for 2 weeks already, and I don't have any plans to stop because I enjoy playing the game. This is my main game, however. This is not a good position to be in, unlike these guys. I can probably make a run for the stairs without dying in the process. I feel like I can make a run for the stairs. If this guy barbs me, however, that would be bad. Let's give that a try. I need to haste, of course. I've been using haste as a defensive option quite frequently with this character. Okay, phew. Was able to escape from that. It was a pretty bad position. I was about to get absolutely mopped by monsters since I was marked. But I managed to make it to the stairs before I died. Good stuff. Okay. I keep thinking I should probably put on poison resistance for the purposes of dealing with Isul, and then I realize that I already have it on. I should probably take it off actually and put back on the Ring of Slaying instead of the Ring of Poison Resistance. Okay, what are my options? Intelligence, Protection, Poison Resistance. I'm gonna put on the Ring of Protection instead of the Ring of Dexterity. Yeah, 2714 looks way better. Unfortunately, I'm not an octopod, so I won't really be able to use multiple rings. I have a lot of really, really good rings, but cannot really make use of all of them. Okay, that killed the Tango Reaver. It wasn't really that bad. I'm a bit afraid of the random assortment of monsters that I am currently being threatened by. I am almost out of scrolls of teleport. This is not good. Oh no, this is not good at all. This could be a serious issue. Mm, I did pick up a weapon, however, so I can now switch to my other weapon and use Greater Servant to summon a dude that won't be hurt whenever I melee. Mm, Perhaps Ambrosia while I wait for them to catch up to me. I have 17, jeez. Also, the demon might stall for a little bit. Okay. I didn't regen a lot from that Ambrosia. It was okay for the purposes of restoring my mana. It did give me back all of my mana, but I lost a lot of HP. Um, I'm gonna haste again. I need to use haste here, otherwise I think I might die. Yeah, this is all to try to preserve my last scroll of teleport, but yep, it's not going in my favor. I don't have blinks, so I guess I have to teleport. Let's hope that I don't die this turn. I do take some damage. It's not okay, but it's also not the end of the world. The Blizzard Demon just straight up died, right? Huh. Should have summoned more, perhaps. Rather dangerous, but perhaps I should have done that. Gonna drink another heal wounds. Big heal, 26 HP. I think I can try to kill the War Gargoyle, and if I kill the War Gargoyle, I would get a teeny tiny heal. Regardless, I'm gonna be teleporting either my next action or in 2 actions from now. Let's see how that goes. I do kill the War Gargoyle, I get a little bit of a heal. But yeah, like even though I teleported, I think that I could have beaten them. But it was just unsafe to try to beat them. I do not regret doing what I did. I'm out of consumables now. Scroll. Well, escape consumables. There's a Shoals 4 scroll of teleport and a scroll shop that I haven't checked. Ooh, let's take a look at that. Okay, that's a pretty nice thing to have found. Look at that, it had a scroll of acquirement. I guess I can also buy these. Let's see what we get from these. Whew, okay. Oh, geez, this is really good. It's either the reason to be a spellcaster or the reason to be a melee character. Both of those are really, really good. And I'm obviously talking about the elemental staff and the plate. The gold is trash, it's not as much gold as I paid for the acquirement. And the ring is also not good. It's decent, but yeah, it's like the kind of ring that I would be okay with putting on if I found it on like D2, D3, but I would like immediately look forward to replacing it with something else. But yeah, like those items pale in comparison to the elemental staff and this plate. This plate! What do I do with this character? I'm being pulled in so many different directions. Because this is like, it's plate, right? It's really heavy, but it kind of takes care of it itself because it gives me 5 strength. But it doesn't give me willpower. On the other hand, like the elemental staff, what if I put on the elemental staff and I just like abandon the plan of being a melee character and I become oh man, I wish I didn't have to choose between these 2 items. If I could take the 2 of them, that would be incredible. Um, Also, I don't have any evocations for tabbing with the elemental staff. My main way of killing things is tabbing. I'm gonna have to think a lot about how to approach these. Oh. Hmm. There's gotta be better spells. I'm glad that I went back and checked that. Book of Lightning. Does that have Arc Jolt? It does. It has 5 spells. Oh, this is new, by the way. Beast Electric Charge. I think it's getting renamed. I don't think it's gonna be Beast Electric Charge or Bi. I don't know how you pronounce that. I think the I think it might be named after a different like mage in Crawl lore. Sends the caster hurtling at chosen nearby enemy, launching a high accuracy melee attack on arrival. So yeah, it's pretty much like the Pantonga roll as I mentioned earlier. Additional electric damage will be dealt based on the length of the charge power of the spell and the physical damage of the attack. I have to say that this attempt at making spells that are more interesting for melee characters are something that I can appreciate. It's just that it is a bit of a shame that melee and spellcasting, yeah, like if I can choose, I would choose to be a spellcaster. I guess this would be an okay thing to have on this specific character now that I think about it, because I'm casting spells and um I'm meleeing, so perhaps I should consider this. Mm, yeah, what if I become a mage? What's my aptitude for that? It's +1. Yeah, the only one that is 0 is Earth Magic. Mm. I could see myself getting 12 for magic or so, and 12 conjure. Well, I already have enough conjurations. Just like 12 for magic really quickly, and casting that and Arc Jolt. But it's gonna hurt my character. Like the character will change a lot, and it might kill me like next fight or so if I make the kind of drastic changes that I'm thinking when it comes to this character. To begin with, I lose the willpower, which is pretty bad. If I had a ring of willpower, this wouldn't like I wouldn't be having this issue. Um, but there's no ring of willpower. There's ring mail of willpower. I wish I could fold that and wear it as a ring. Um, but unfortunately, yeah, it's not a thing that you can do in this game. Mm, so complicated indeed. This got me thinking. Like, this is a serious decision to make with this character. Like, whatever I acquire from here will drastically and irrevocably change the character. And it's like two great items. And like the worst part about the plate is the fact that it's so heavy, but it has 5 strength, so that really legit doesn't matter. I don't even have to level up strength on level 21, which we're about to hit. I can level up intelligence or dexterity. My stats are a whole mess. They're so spread. But yeah, I feel like this character is like 1 or 2 items away from like straight up greatness. Keeping in mind what I have from the acquirement. It's funny because the acquirement offers me with 2 items that would result in a rather significant power spike for the character. I think everyone can agree on that. But I feel like the correct thing to do is to wait a bit more and see what I get. Like if I get something like Iron Shot or so, I would go for the elemental staff, and if I get like a better weapon or a lot of money, perhaps another scroll of acquirement, I could consider grabbing the armor, and most importantly, willpower. If I get willpower, I would probably grab the armor and abandon spellcasting, perhaps. Um, I could also see what I can cast if I put on a Ring of Intelligence instead of the Ring of Protection or Ring of Wizardry. Oh man, like I don't want to keep going because I feel like I'm just gonna die. This has been really, really difficult so far, and I'm out of consumables. So next bad fight for me is gonna kill me. It's just unavoidable. Oh, perhaps I shouldn't be using the scimitar. Oh, look at that. That's not terrible. It's not good enough, but I would be much more interested if it was something like scale mail or chain mail. Oh, no, not chain mail. I'm wearing chain mail. If it was scale mail or ring mail, something that is less heavy so that I can cast better spells. Um, the way that I'm thinking about it, like I already have LRD and the training to use it. What if I get the elemental staff, drop the chainmail, go to Robo Willpower, and just cast LRD? I think that I'm gonna try that because I really do feel like I need an immediate power spike. Mm. But yeah, that plate was really good. It got me thinking for a solid 10 minutes. Um, Okay, perhaps stop training fighting. If I'm gonna be casting spells as my main way of killing things, fighting is not gonna be that much of an important thing to have. By the way, I never trained for Hailstorm, and I think Hailstorm could have been useful in some situations. It's just that I didn't do it because I got sitting. What is it called? Sitting Bolt? Sitting Ray. I always confuse them. Sitting Ray. Um, I got it super early into the game, so I figured that with good enough terrain, that would be better than Hailstorm without really having to go out of my way to train a different spell school that I was not gonna use except for the one spell. So that's why I didn't get it. Otherwise, I would have gotten it. Okay, so I'm wearing the robe and I'm wearing the elemental staff, and I have 21 armor class. I guess it's very obvious that I have to take off the Ring of Slaying because I won't really be tabbing and pick up LRD. Yeah, that's gonna be okay. It's like really, really weak LRD. It's crazy. Like it's getting enhanced by the elemental staff, and it's still really weak. It's just what happens when you get a spellcaster that doesn't level up all the intelligence. I need a Ring of Intelligence. Nork Band. You can deal with those very easily just by casting stone arrows. Okay, let's see how this goes. At least I didn't get hexed by that guy. A large amount of my issues with this character have arisen, or have arisen, I suppose, is the way to say it, from the fact that I tend to get marked by sentinels just because I have only one source of willpower instead of two. Yeah, this has just been a rather painful mid game. The early game was okay. It was even on the easier side of things, apart from that lure one. But once we got to the point in the game where willpower started to matter, yeah, it's been complicated. Let's get rid of that. Alrighty, let's take a look at my spell power. It does increase a bit. Does increase a teeny tiny bit. I guess it's better than nothing. Iron Altar of Okawaru, okay. I would have preferred to find Iron Shot there instead of a fight on Altar, but Book of Lightning. So now I have access to Lightning Bolt and Arc Jolt, which I am training for. I'm gonna wait for that guy to get closer and I'm just gonna spam Stone Arrow. Perhaps I should have used LRD instead of using Stone Arrow the way that I did. After all, LRD is kinda my most powerful spell, right? It actually deals some pretty decent damage. Okay, we're done with Bolts 3. But yeah, my recent acquisition of LRD allows me to not have so many issues dealing with War Gargoyles and Crystal Guardians as I was having, since I can directly target them with LRD. Deal a lot of damage to them like that. Things like the Preserver, which have a ton of armor class, they might be a bit more difficult to kill, unfortunately. Okay, perhaps I shouldn't be tabbing, because not really a tab character if I'm wielding this. Yeah, I just have grown too accustomed to TAF, unfortunately. I might still be able to beat these guys by tabbing, but yeah, I should get that out of my system. I think that tomorrow, when I come back to this character, I will be playing it significantly better, because I won't be tabbing. Yeah, important to not taff. Not anymore now that I'm wearing Rove. Okay, the Protector dies, and so did the Deep Trolls pretty good. Oof, it's been rough. There's been some situations where I didn't think I was gonna make it. But I think that this is the beginning of a new era for this character, the era of casting spells, casting Lightning Bolt and Arc Jolt, I suppose. Another spell that I want is Noxious Bogu. You know how much I like that one, and I already have it here. The only issue is that it's in Transmutation and Poison, and I don't have any training in either. Yeah, it's just my training has been mostly in defensive skills with invocation and stuff. Mm, Plus 10 hand axe would have been great to have on D3, D4, but yeah, it's a bit too late for that. Plus 10 hand axe is not gonna do anything at this point in the game. Do I have file? Oh, I don't have any experience evocables. Yeah, I mean, apart from Tin of Tremorstones. I also don't have any evocations, so there's that too. Um, I need one of these harpies to move away from the door. I guess it's a bit too late now. That guy's just gonna immediately open the door again. Major destruction in the general direction of the enemies. Random bolts go, I suppose. Not bad. I been dealing some serious damage because that's what major destruction tends to do. Man, that Maklev ability is really strong. Let me tell you, it's cheap and it is powerful. Like it's a spammable. You probably don't want to use it every fight, but you can use it frequently and like spam it on the fights where you do use it, and it goes well. And then you get hit for 82 damage across 2 turns with no escape options, and things stop going so well. Okay, this is fine. It's fine. Think that I'm gonna close the door. That's gonna be my first action. Get rid of the harpy, please. Okay, cost me 9 mana. 2 stun arrows me is pretty rough. I might be able to drink ambrosia. Let's see how that goes. If I see the door open, then I probably drink curing to get rid of the ambrosia. But fortunately, the turn that the door does end up opening is a turn where ambrosia wears off. I think that I might be able to survive this. I hate Doctor Captains. You know what I should do? I should get the Rolling Palantonga spell, Buys Electric Charge for the purposes of dealing with Doctor Captain. With yeah, for those guys. I'm gonna drink Attraction here. Ouch. I'm fine. I'm fine. Stop doing that. Yeah, the issue with this is not only that this guy's killing me, but also the Bold Warden will is like very close by, and it's probably got alerted by the explosions from LRD. But it fortunately doesn't catch up to me. I can regen to full HP. I really miss the time before I had to get rid um, of my body armor. Do you remember the chainmail with regen? I love that, but unfortunately, yeah, I cannot really use it anymore because I need willpower. The need of, or like the lack of willpower with this character has been the bane of my existence. I didn't mention it with the acquirements because all of the acquirement items were really good in a vacuum, but taken into the context of this character, they were really not what I needed. Not even the elemental staff was what I needed. I needed something that said willpower, ideally plus plus, so I didn't have to worry about willpower for the rest of the game. You love the Robo Binds, no potion heal, but a lot of regen? Yeah, it's a pretty good item. Um, but then again, like taking into the context of this character, I cannot afford to not have willpower at this stage of the game because I'm just gonna auto-explore into getting banished, into getting or auto-explore into getting marked, then banished, then immediately killed in the abyss. That's just like the fate of this character if I run around without willpower. And it is quite painful, I have to tell you that. I wish we were not in this position, but it's just how it is. Better hide from the Yactor Captain before it proceeds to destroy me, as they tend to do. Out of mana. Fortunately, I have melee as well, so I can melee that guy down. I don't know if I want to deal with a Tentacle Monstrosity without mana, however. I would like to soften it up with a little bit of stun arrow before I kill it with my melee. Even in Rove, my melee is still rather respectable. I'm a bit surprised by that. Yeah, like, I mean respectable in the sense that I am, like, not dying horribly. Um, I think that I can probably drop the Arc Blade. Yeah, the Arc Blade was a rather disappointing thing this time around. Mm, but it was really not the fault of the Arc Blade. It's the fault of not having willpower. That's been the bane of this character's existence. By the way, that guy wants to mark me, and I don't want to get marked, so I'm gonna jump away. Barachi is nice, how they can jump away. Nice little way to compensate for their ridiculous weakness of not being able to run away from anything. Okay, Mr. Bold Warden, please don't kill me. Phew, there's another one. Oh, there's three. Wow, okay. I kind of want to LRD them here. I really want to LRD them. Oh no, okay. This is where I either buff or die. Yes, because like I wanted to re-teleport. Like you see three Bold Wardens and just like in general, a human band with three Bold Wardens is like a bit too much. But unfortunately, I don't have access to teleport. I ran out. There's no more. So the only thing that I can really do is continue attacking these guys with major destruction. It is killing them. It is killing them, all right. Yeah, this is why I didn't really want to go for spells, by the way, because Major Destruction is just so effective at killing things. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't really dropped below 6 pips of Piety, even with all the spamming of Major Destruction that you've already seen me do. So yeah, it's just really, really cheap and really, really strong. I'm amazed at how strong it is. Okay. I can't believe that we're actually kind of winning this with the power of Major Destruction. I wish I had spells like these. I guess I have Arc Jolt. How is Arc Jolt looking? Pretty rough. Yeah, I say pretty rough because it doesn't deal good damage, not because it is uncastable. Is any of you comboking? Not yet, but you will. I know that you will, and by extension, I should kill you before you do it. Yep. Perhaps I should have drank cancellation. Doing this with the amount of willpower that I've had has been such a war of attrition on my resources. Like, I think that bolts ate everything that I had, but I had to do it because, like, what else am I going to do? Am I going to do elf with only 1 pip of willpower? It's gonna be the same or worse if I try that. So yeah. It's moments like these that make me hope that the game like had guaranteed sources of certain stuff, such as willpower, because whenever you don't have it, it's just so painful. I didn't think that Bolts was gonna be so difficult. In general, I didn't think that this character was gonna be so difficult once I got out of the early game. But it's been. It's absolutely been, I can tell you that. Oh, please don't kill me, Sphinx. I have very low HP. I have no heal wounds anymore. I have no haste. I still have 2 mites. I've had 2 mites for what feels like the entirety of the game past the early game. Okay. I abandoned the opportunity to get +9 plate of fire and cold resistance with 5 strength. I guess I'm leveling up intelligence. My stats. My stats are the worst thing of all. They're so diluted because the character is like the character is trying to do everything and failing at doing everything. Let's try Major Destruction. It's gonna tax my HP. Let's do it again. This guy doesn't have a ranged attack, so I'm not afraid. It missed twice? No, it hit once, but it didn't kill. The guy is most likely at like 1 HP. Let's try LRD. It doesn't kill. I can't believe it. Sometimes the game is just something else. Okay. With my last little bit of HP, because I had 10 and it cost 6, so I went down to 4, and then I regained 10 HP because I killed the warden. So now I'm at 14. Unfortunately, I'm done with the mark. So yeah. Can I please be done with this level? I am tired. This is exhausting. I think it was Brain the Dota. This is so stressful to watch. When you said it, I didn't really feel like that when it came to the character. But now I can tell you with 100% certainty, this is so stressful to play. And I am tired. I want to find my willpower and be able to become the unstoppable juggernaut of a character that this was always meant to be. Because it's a pretty strong character. It had some pretty great stuff from the very beginning of the game. It's just that I didn't find willpower, and the fact that I didn't have willpower deprived me of so many options. Um, Throughout the game so far. It's awful. Absolutely awful. You're so sleepy. I am tired. I'm ready to call it once we're done with this level. This is the final level. Tomorrow we are coming back and oh, I found a scroll of teleport. That's a big deal. I found Starburst. That's also another very important spell to have. Gonna get the rolling spell. Do I want Starburst? Like, it's so pricey. It's fire magic, lots of fire magic. Oh man, like it's so late into the game, I don't feel like I can diversify into that. It's the kind of thing that I do in the early game. Like in the early game, I don't mind training 12 or 14 of a bunch of different schools. But at this point, I don't know if I can afford to do it. Yeah, Noxious Bog. I don't know if I can Noxious Bog. Because it's just so pricey. If I was going to get something, I would get this Starburst that I just found. Hmm. Oh, I was thinking of training translocations, but this is already capped in power, the rolling spell. Um, okay, time to do a little bit of Arc Jolt, which reminds me that I haven't gone into my RC file to edit it to have Arc Jolt on J. It just feels fitting. But yeah, take a look at that. Isn't it a beautiful spell when it does do its thing? By the way, it wasn't even wielding the elemental staff and it still killed everything. Oh man, I wish it was like that. More frequently, that is. Okay, beautiful. I decided to finish this off with LRD because LRD is pretty good versus monsters with no armor class. And those guys didn't have armor class. I miss the times when, well, I guess by the times I mean like a day. I miss the day when Arcjolt went through metal because like it was so strong in bolts, but it is not the case anymore. It's fine. Pretty great blink. I can run away. I have mana regen, so running away is not pointless. I am stalling for mana, so I can actually kill these guys. Because when they caught me, I had very little in the way of mana. Now I can just turn around and kill these guys. I wish I had a little bit of a better spell to deal with them. A stun arrow kinda works, but yeah, it's like I would prefer not to use that kinda territory. I'm gonna use a scroll summoning. Alright, pretty good. Triple Lindworm. The Lindworms are just destroying everything. They tend to do that. In mass, they're pretty strong allies to have. In a vacuum, they're not good, but if there's three of them and they're all shooting their Lindworm Fire Breath weapon, yeah, there's very few monsters that can survive 9 dice of 18. In a single turn. 9 dice of 18, because it's 3 three Lindworms casting 3 dice of 18 breath weapon, right? Mm. Mm. Once again, I am presented with my lack of poison resistance. That's also something that I would consider to be an issue with the character. It's obviously not an issue because at least I do have a source of it, but it is annoying. I'm not a fan of juggling rings, and my constant usage of Scroll of Poison has forced me to do precisely that. If I wanna, take advantage of the Scroll of Poison. Mm, okay, pretty good. Alrighty. I think I can tap down that guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk away from there. At this point, we have already killed almost the entirety of this level with how much I've been marked in this hellish place. So I think we should be fine. I don't think we're gonna die anymore. There's definitely gotta be a better spell for me to use. I cannot just run around casting Stone Arrow. But there's better spells, but I just don't want to train for them. I guess I should just surrender and start training Fire Magic. If I already got almost 12 Fire Magic, getting 12 Fire Magic is not gonna be that bad. Also, we are about to get to the point in the game where experience starts to become very, very abundant, which is like Depths and Sot. Those places have so much experience. Like only the 4 levels of Depths and the 5 levels of Sot have like more experience than the rest of the game combined. The rest of the 3 rune game, of course, because I'm not really taking things like Tomb into account here. Obviously, Tomb has a ton of experience. Same goes for Extended as a whole, including Cigarettes. Oh no, why did I typoed into doing that, by the way. Fortunately, there was no warden nor dragon in the stairs to push me away and therefore almost certainly kill me. Yeah, that was bad. I have a macro that makes me go downstairs in case you are wondering why that happened or how that happened. Oh boy, I didn't need that. Definitely didn't need that in my life today. By the way, I found a hand crossbow. That guy was using a hand crossbow. It's a rather rare sight to see. Those guys almost never have hand crossbows. But whenever they do have them, you can be sure that you're not gonna need them. So by extension, you're not gonna get anything out of the hand crossbows. I think it's a bit too late for me to do that. Yeah, the game just has pulled me and baited me into so many different decisions when it comes to this character. Like, do I become a melee character or do I become a mage? And now the game is throwing a hand crossbow to make me think if I should be a ranged character. But no, I'm just gonna leave that on the floor. I'm done second guessing my build. I don't even know what my build is. All that I know is that I am somehow able to kill things and survive. But I really should be doing better stuff right now. Like Starburst is a pretty good example of the better stuff that I have in mind. Hopefully we'll be getting to that sometime soon. The one-hand crossbow wins the game. Condenser Bane, that's a delightful thing to have. I wish I had gotten it earlier, where it was slightly more impactful. Big damage on the Convoker. Convoking is convoking. Gonna try to get rid of it. Ouch. Okay, I have the rolling spell. It is the time to use it. It's man, how much range does it have? Not a lot. It's pretty much like Palentonga rolling. Still not enough range. I picked it up for the soul per. Oh wow. Okay, my first cast of the spell at 1% chance is a miscast. You suck the actor captain and electrocute it. Cute. Rolling. Scroll of Blinking. So not only did we get back a Scroll of Teleport, but we also got Blinking back. I appreciate that. I appreciate not dying, like having a way to survive the next time that I get into an extremely messed up situation, which, considering that we're about to be done with bolts, I think that those kinds of situations will become less frequent, but they are still a looming threat for my character, unfortunately. And we are done with bolts 4. I'm not going into bolts 5. This is not the kind of character that I feel can do bolts 5. Did I even finish the dungeon? Oh no, I did, but I didn't do D13 because D13 is Rupert's domain. Yeah, we still cannot kill Rupert, by the way, especially not with the willpower levels that I have. Oof, okay. That was awful towards the end. I'm not looking forward to the fate of this character tomorrow, unless it entails, unless it involves finding some more willpower. If I find one more source of willpower, the game changes drastically for the better of this character. It allows me to wear whatever kind of body armor I want. Um, and by extension just like have a better character. It also allows me to go to Elf and perhaps even Crypt to try to search for better loot. Like, look at my resistances and defenses. Other than the willpower, it's really good. But like, I have issues killing things. That's also a big problem. I can kill everything with stun arrow because stun arrow is physical damage. It's respectable amounts of physical damage, so it actually does kind of serve the purpose of killing stuff. But I would prefer not to just go around stone narrowing everything. At the very least, iron shot instead. But anyway, that will be a problem for me tomorrow. For now, I am going to end the stream, and I will come back tomorrow to play more Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I was thinking about Infinity Wars, which I will be playing soon, but for now, I'll be playing